recognized symbol of excellence in sports entertainment.
Hamin Media Group. This is NeXT. Next Level Podcast.
We are the New York Knicks. We are the New York Knicks.
Oh yeah.
We are the New York Knicks.
That's how we starting this off this
New
week.
York Knicks. Say go New York, go New York, go.
Hey.
Go New York, go New York, go. Say go New York, go New York, go. Go New York, go New York, go. Well, just like that, look who's back in the mix. Straight out of New York City, it's the Red Hot Knicks. And
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, y'all. Oh wait, that's not my gimmick. That's how we are starting this off. It is NBA week. The playoffs are here. The New York Knicks. What the hell was that? Did you hear that? Am I hearing things, people screaming in the back? Oh, you know what that is? That's the fucking sound of victory. And ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you. Usually I play his gimmick. No. This is all about the New York Knicks this week, isn't it? Sure. Now, well, here's the deal. When this man's in the room, everything slows down. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you the golden Ayatollah, the one, the only. For some reason, this music isn't playing, but it's all good. Here we go. Yes. What a terrible producer I am.
That's all good, Ray. Y'all infidels, that's all right. I ain't got to lift one fucking finger. Make sure the God Ray turns on the ringer as we're going to bring it to you, the Next Level Live, infidels, here at Ben Hamin channel, twitch.tv/Hamin Media, patreon.com/Hamin Media Group.
Mania.
Yeah, man, what are you going to do? It's early up and we're ready to get to it. I see the chat room filling up already, but it's time to break it all down with my man Big Ray and Hacker Hamin here to stay. Y'all.
Ben, I am so freaking excited, man. I'm so excited. It's been
you've been really into New York Knicks this year, and I like that you're having
this year.
Time, bro.
Ben Hamin.
Well, I mean, like that they're making it farther than they ever had. It's a good feeling.
Well, no, not really. I mean, I was there in 1994 when the New York Knicks lost in 7 games to the Houston Rockets. I've been a fan since 1985. Ben, that's when I started watching them. So I've been suffering my entire life. So I have to revel.
The same way when the Cubs won, bro. You know what I mean?
Who?
The Chicago Cubs.
They play basketball?
No, but they didn't even get to anything for like 100 years after the curse, and living 2 blocks from it and hearing every home run off my back porch was sweet.
That's pretty fucking cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude. Well, that's right where Improv Olympic was, like legit from the big Chicago Cubs sign.
Mm-hmm.
Right across the street is the corner of Addison and Addison Clark, excuse me, and 40 yards up the block was Improv Olympics. So every day I got to go. I mean, you're real close to MSG, but I mean, this was like legit out my front fucking door pretty much. So I'm just pumped for you, man. I like those guys because there's what I like about this Knicks team, man. And I like about a lot of teams.
Mm-hmm.
There's no like pinnacle player that they spend a shit ton of money to build everything around. They wouldn't have gotten this far if it wasn't for a massive group effort. And you know what I mean? That's really great. And because that echoes what HMG is. I couldn't just sit here with my name on it without the entire group backing us up, man. So I'm pumped for those guys. I hope they can get in the flow. It's a little tougher to not have a guy you can depend on for 41 points or whatever, but that means everybody, if they can get the ball passing and get everybody to get a little bit, man, they could really do some upset work here. So I'm hopeful for you, bud.
Absolutely. You know what it has been? It is
This is such good shit.
I still love playing. Anyway, so listen, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I am the reporter, the people, the man, the plan, Big Ray, here to stay to talk some Lucha Libre, which is your Spanish lesson for wrestling today. Listen, I got to be honest, man. Today, the NBA playoffs start. I'm very excited. They have the whole play-in gimmick. We have a guest coming here to join us, but I haven't stooged that off to Ben Hamin yet. So he's going to be doing or she, could be a she, could be, I don't know what this person identifies as today, but this person is going to be doing the run-in just to say hello and join us to maybe perhaps review NXT. So hang out, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very fucking excited. Anyway, Ben, before we jump into the three kinds, I just wanted to know, how was your week, man?
Yeah, the week is super busy with production. I was up till 1:30 in the morning working on some Larry Hankin stuff, as he's going to be on the Friends reunion. So I'm trying to get everything in line with his vision. And this guy's been in the game for 80 years. In the acting game for probably 55 to 60 years. So I just really have to be meticulous in what I'm producing, and did a great day yesterday with Stevie and Vince. Obviously, Master Shoot Theater was a lot of fun. That's coming out today, and the Raw and SmackDown review as well. And we covered some Backlash. But the real big thing is it was great to be back on the road this weekend. I was the surprise at Titan Championship Wrestling to back up Blaze Haram in an Iraqi prison match, which who's going over, versus Ranger Rick Recon. And we beat the shit out of him pretty well. And his soldier buddy, I left him laying.
They're nice guys, though.
Well, it doesn't matter to me. It's time to go to war. I don't give a shit how nice you are, because that's all war's about. But dude, the drive was good with referee sideburns, just real long. We didn't get home till 4:40 in the morning on Sunday, and that kind of put me in that weird dream state. But I got to see some hardcore Hamin Media Group members. Frank's Pickle Barrel Ass was there with his whole family. Surprised him. It was great to hang out with him. He had his $5 face slap shirt on. His wife had the Conspiracy Horseman shirt on. Mm-hmm. We took some pictures, smoked some good, and then who ran up on me? Gooch Marinelli.
Yeah, I was listening to your show. I was like, holy shit. The Gooch is alive, ladies and gentlemen. For those alive. Who don't know.
I popped, though, because he laughed like it's an outside show, and they got to do what they got to do, because it's, this fucking fucked up where we live. And even though today in New York, you supposedly can go without your masks, and so it's going to cause a whole thing. But they asked everybody, really, all the wrestlers are standing around hugging, shaking hands, fucking. Sure. No mask, no nothing. And the fans are outside, socially distanced to some degree. And they go, please, could you put your mask on if you're outside? We just have to da-da-da. And Gooch got fucking hot. He turned around, he storms out, he goes, he didn't know I was watching. He goes, we're out fucking side. He got mad and walked off. You know how Gooch was, man. He's a good dude, but he's a passionate human being, and he was not having that shit at all. But
passionate is a good way to describe him.
Yeah. IRS was on the show and did the signing. It was good to see him. I mean, you forget what a massive individual he is until you shake his hand, man. Then you're shaking the hand of a star, because it's, I'm a pretty big dude, but that guy still dwarfs me. And the Samoans were there. Samoan Dynasty, Alpha Jr., Jacob Fatu, and Manalu, I believe is his name.
Why not?
It was a good time, man. And main event as usual, hardcore Holly, and we got it done, dude. Took the big victory home for Palestine.
All right, Ben, let's do the rundown really quickly. Who's in the chat room right now, my friend?
Right now, we our own the real RBV, who also had a really great weekend. Running,
I'm sure,
with Ted the Trailer McNailer, and I guess people are clamoring for them to come back and set up another one as soon as they can. And I mean, you don't want to overbook the territory, but that means let's find more towns in Ohio. And I don't know, maybe someday I'll be good enough to get booked over there. But I was glad that those guys got together, and with Dr. Ted backstage, things are going to be done the right way, the Rip Rogers way. So I was excited for those guys to have a big success, man. Some punks in the house. Frank Pickle Barrel Ass, obviously here already. Chef and Angle. Mr. Homeboy 88's in the house. Unrealistic Cliff Burton. Greg Miron, the Gam Wolfers himself. Classified Chat, Mike Roche. Nobody worth to remember except for Scott Woodford's here. And yeah, man, it looks like we got most of them covered. Ron Booth, I see you too, homeboy. And Classified Chappie is in the house, man. And we're getting loaded up here. Ben Hamin channel, twitch.tv/Hamin Media. I'm just double streaming because we made path to affiliate. We're on our way to getting remonetized, hopefully.
Yes.
Until we get kicked off again. So, yeah, man, just doing it, man. Performing and producing. I can't ask for much more than this life, you know.
Well, you know, if we get kicked off, you know what we do?
We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. And thing sucks.
Damn. That's kind of morning, isn't it?
Yeah, man. I see some punks over there at Twitch checking it out. He says not monetized yet, no option for it. We just made affiliate. We got to make partners. So that means I'll probably make the numbers and whatnot. One of the hurdles that's going to be tough to get over is you have to have 75 average viewers. So we're going to have some type of fucking Hamin Media bomb in order to achieve that, because before we were just grandfathered in from our friend John Carnage, who started Twitch. I just got to figure out a little strategy for that, but there's a couple media numbers I have to meet, and hopefully we can be back to partner status.
We should try doing like remember that they used to have the old telethons and shit where we just put forth some really all the content's amazing, but maybe like a string of really like special shows, and then we just bang out, boom, 75.
Well, I think it's just more the fact of like, all right, we've got this done, and we're gonna do something big. We'll hit everybody on Russo brand Twitter, and we'll just try and bomb atomically to get everybody in there so we can hit that number. And I don't think that'll be too hard because we're at 20, and chances are we'll be close to 40. So to find 35 more heads from HMG and Russo brand, I don't think will be too crazy. And some people have multiple gimmicks too, so we'll use that.
Very cool. All right. Well, listen, Ben, we have a lot of show today, and today I am going to the gimmick baker to taste to see what kind of cake we're gonna eat for our wedding.
Cool, man. A very important thing, man. I think that's great, dude. We just had, I mean, we eloped, so it was just a small one, but I got to tell you, our wedding cake was one of the best my wife and I have ever had, just cake, period. And we didn't pick it out. We were just shocked at how good it was. We were like, damn, we got to go back there just to order cakes in Caribbean, man. But my wife has the cakes, and I know your girl does too. So you'll be having a good time.
Yes.
What are you looking for? Yellow cake, uranium, or are you looking for chocolate or white cakes?
So I'll be honest with you.
Cakes.
I wouldn't mind Tony cakes, but the fact is this, man. Like, if it was up to me and Jen, it would be chocolate cake with vanilla icing. That would be our shit. But it's not going to be that. We want something that's going to be universal. So we're probably going with the yellow cake with the chocolate and vanilla. You know, so everybody can get something they like. And yeah, so that's probably what we're gonna be doing. So I'll hold on. Let me just put this up here. Yes, hashtag Tony Cake. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, it is time. I know nobody here reads the newspaper anymore, so you leave it up to us. This is what we do. We give you the news. We give you the breaking news. What, huh?
What the fuck is a newspaper?
I don't know. Do you remember that? Do you remember the newspaper? I used to read that on the bus.
I used to deliver a lot of them.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for not the 4, not the 5. It is the 1, the 2, the 3 counts.
This is your next level 3 count with the biggest pro wrestling, MMA, and world news stories of the day. Now, back to Big Ray and Ben Hamin.
Well, we have a massive intelligence failure on our hands. This has been going on for years, and hundreds of incidents. Nobody in the Congress was informed. Senior officials in the Defense Department were not informed. The intelligence community did not take action to support our military personnel at sea in these carrier battle groups and other locations. So it's extremely disturbing to think that after spending hundreds of billions of dollars for so many years and believing our airspace to be secure, in fact, we've had vehicles operating in restricted military airspace with impunity on a recurring and sustained basis for many years.
Yeah, that's exactly what the pilots have been saying. You know, Congress is supposed to finally be briefed on UFOs next month. How much transparency how transparent should they be with that information? I mean, should Americans get full access to this?
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of these systems have multiple uses. And so if you disclose some of this information, you would compromise systems that are used in the defense to help detect and prevent nuclear warfare, for example, major strategic systems. So nobody wants to see any edge that we have in that area compromised because of the impact that could have on security. So the senators behind closed doors, of course, will get a lot more information. They'll get classified information. This report will also be produced at an unclassified level. And we should get a sense of whether there's a serious national security threat, how seriously we need to take this.
All right, I'm gonna stop this fucking guy. All right. So I've been reading about this over the last couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
It's picking up. What am I talking about? If you guys are listening right now, this is a report on CNBC. But not only that, I mean, Fox is going crazy reporting it. CNN is going crazy reporting it. The New York Times had a very interesting article basically stating that, if I'm correct, in June next month, there will be a huge, something big is going to be announced. Something big to the general public. Something big is going to be announced. Ben Hamin, could it be that finally, and we said this here, ladies and gentlemen, we said when we first started here at Hamin Media, or back in the day, it was at hackerhamin.poppy, but back in the day when we did that, we had one of our shows. I put it up not too long ago, and I think I had said that in around 2022, 21, or whatever it was, that we are going to be living amongst aliens. That was about 3 years ago, and now the timeline is actually falling into place. Ben Hamin,
Yeah.
what's going on here, brother? Is this it? Is this gonna happen?
Oh yeah, it's gonna happen. Maybe kind of in that weird JFK disclosure way where everything's redacted, but they put this through when they were doing the COVID relief bill on December 28th of 2020. It was 6 months to start the clock to countdown for alien disclosure, and we've seen it the last year, really. But every other day there's a new headline. Today's on Drudge was Obama talks about aliens, and so they're normalizing it for every support group. Like, I'm sure they'll ask Trump about it, and the right wingers will, Obama support, so we can get on the same page. But there's a lot coming around, and the things that we're seeing story wise this week are that they've been in our skies. There's nothing we can do with it. They accelerate from 20,000 to 80,000 feet vertically, and on none of our planes, they can hover infinitely.
Yep.
New footage of from a naval cruiser where they were checking it on radar, and it's sitting there and kind of coming towards them, and then it just goes right into the water as a USO. Just the reality is they've been here, and now we're gonna get to this point. Have they been living amongst us as the Nordics and reptilians, in underground bases, or tall grays or small grays? I think all that is absolutely gonna come out that way. Are we gonna have the Dave Chappelle sketch with them on each side? I don't think so on that, but yeah, man, I never thought in our lifetime we'd get this, and here we are. I thought it was going to be some bullshit, but the way they're rolling these stories out, I think it's going to be a bit heavier of a hit, and I kind of love it, because not just for the Star Wars and shit that we grew up under, but the fact of we're actually gonna have to change as a human society, where we think we're so goddamn important, and we build these bombs and nuclear weapons that can end continents, end life in that. And now this is new life, and we're going to have to see that we're the aliens too, really, even though it's our planet. If we're going back there, we're going to be aliens. We're all on floating rocks in fucking space. So, there's all these new types of awakenings, and I hope the simple things of they even get me hot. Don't get me wrong, taxes and all this other bullshit and just murder, kill that's in our DNA and possibly placed by our alien masters who created the human race X amount of thousands of years ago.
You really believe that, Ben?
Yeah.
Really?
What other animal has a missing link? And I'll go religion with you. What did God create man in?
His image.
His own image. And so if that means fucking with our own DNA, what are we doing right now? We're doing CRISPR technology.
Will you stop?
I'm sorry, what?
We have mRNA vaccines, CRISPR technology to make you can have children with 3 parents. We're fucking with genetics. How is that any different than aliens fucking with some primate genetics and doing it right now in China? They're doing chimeras with chimpanzee and human hybrids, bro, underneath the radar. And that
are they really doing that?
Yeah, and that's those are
plant-
coming out. So how, like, if they're coming out, they've been doing it. They've already got some Planet of the Apes shit going on there for the last decade that they haven't been talking about. So, you know, I'm not the religion guy to be putting it over, but things like that of God made man his own image. Well, who's got it? If somebody comes out of the fucking sky, lands, and takes a simple animal and turns them into a thinking organism, which supposedly only use how much of our brains?
Well, I don't know if that's even. I know it's supposed to be a small percentage, but
It's 12.
Is that a fact anymore? Because I think we use a lot less.
I don't. Yeah, well, you know.
Have you seen our president?
That doesn't just mean thinking critically. That means motor skills, abilities, and you know, sensing. What if they put some kind of cap on us because they did want us to be? I ain't saying she's a gold digger, but she ain't fucking with no broke Anunnaki. You know what I mean? And they want us to be a slave race. And they gate us at 10% of what they are. Maybe they can telepathically communicate. We know people who have empath abilities. There's a lot of just cool stuff, conspiracy and imagination wise, that stacks up way over any religious story that I've ever fucking heard. You know, even if you want to take it biblical, Moses parting waters is a very alien thing to me, like having a staff that can do this type of shit. You know what I mean? Some strange weapons. I don't know, man. I'm excited for it. And even things like Paul Hellyer, the defense minister of Canada, doing disclosure years ago. And what do the aliens do when they actually come here and they go over military and nuclear sites?
What do they do?
You know what's happened at multiple sites?
No, tell me.
They just black out and everything goes off.
Yeah.
Like everything goes offline at a nuclear site. Like that's a scary premise to a human. But what is the bigger picture saying? That we need to stop this killing. We need to stop this fucking man against man and everything. He parted the water yesterday with a big one. He had
Billy Ray Valentine with his gimmick, just pouring water.
Taco Tuesday yesterday. He was fucking doing some damage. And you know, all that kind of stuff to me is so like telling us what we need to do to become people who there is no black, white, Asian, we're all fucking humans, man. And it takes somebody taking our weapons of mass destruction away and shutting us down and going, look how fucking feeble you really are. And that we're a far superior and more enlightened race who don't want you to be fucking killing each other or ending this experiment that they may have terraformed. They may have started all of this shit for millions and millions. They might have even fucking, you know, been the ones to wipe out dinosaurs in order to fucking, you know, make sure that we could go forward in this. So there's all these little what if fictional scenarios that I just love it because it gets my mind racing and hopefully it can advance us as human beings. And wouldn't that be in our 80 trips around the sun, something awesome and scary to live through, but so like I was there when it fucking went down, man. I'm excited to be a part of that in the world.
So generally speaking, no, you know what? Let me get your honest opinion before we move on to the next story here. So, what does it say here? The Ark of the Covenant is let me see, is
the best alien weapon in his opinion, something that can destroy an entire city. Add that to a weapon, and you control the world. I mean, that's the whole thing. Why is it about control? I appreciate that. I like that. What's how about when the walls of Jericho came tumbling down, right, with a fucking horn? That shit's all awesome. So I'm excited to see.
Yeah, but Chris Jericho is fucking good in the ring.
Well, he's a little champion, so he can do what he wants. But yeah, man, there's just so much of old technology that could be all new, and who knows where we're going to go as an enlightened race. I think there's still going to be stupid bastards, and everyone's going to cash in on it. But I'm all about the marketing. So
I hear you, man.
I'm about to mark out here because I see our guest.
Oh, you see the guest? So I don't see this person. Can you bring this person in?
I can.
Right,
I'll always bring him in with a hot tag. It's my buddy, my man, my OVW brother. Impact Attack host is in the house. It's the Vet, baby. Army of Two. How you doing, Vet? Good to see you, bro.
Man, it's finally happening, bro. How you guys doing this morning?
We're doing fantastic. All right, hold on. Let me just blast this a little bit.
This for you, Ben. This for you, Ben.
On the man-made lake, there's a sheet of thin ice where unskilled skaters cut figure 8 twice. That's 16, uncut, direct from the coat. Head on the soul, the result, death by the boat.
Ladies and gentlemen, in order to take this show to the next level, we have the one, the only, the man who deals with Colin Wysong on a weekly basis. It's very true, ladies and gentlemen. On the Impact Attack, y'all are the Vet. Yo, dude, thank you for accepting my offer, accepting this, coming in and joining us here today. I'm pretty excited. You know why I'm most excited, Ben and Vet? You know why?
Why?
Because I don't have to talk a lot today. It's all you guys.
With a voice like that, I mean, how can you hold yourself back? I mean, give the people what they want, right?
Well, with a face like that, how can you hold the women back?
The Vet don't age. I was going to see that. He looks just as young as we were fucking 14 years ago, and I look like an old piece of fucking withered shit, man.
No, Ben, you look better. You look better now. You have aged very well. This might be an interesting piece of trivia for everyone. You might be surprised by this, Ray. But Ben and I don't think we've actually ever even sat down and have a conversation. We've just over all these years, it's just been like not anything long. Maybe going over like one match or something, something that he was supposed to do in our match. But it's kind of funny how. There's like a communication, there's like a language between wrestlers where even if you don't literally talk to each other, you still kind of know about the person and learn about the person. So this is actually going to be the first time I've ever just sat down and talked to, with, and any other things you want to say with Ben. So I could not miss this or any other invitations that could be coming my way.
Wow, awesome, he's dead on with that. Well, we just in wrestling and OVW, it's not that it's everything's clicked up, but you got your crew that you kind of live with and ride to shows with, and I mean, Vet and I in practice wrestled each other plenty of times in rips, high spot or chain wrestling and whatnot. But we just really never were in the same personal circles where we would always be together to have those kind of talks. But he's 100% right. It's what's unspoken in the locker room, same exact path and journey through our training and on TV, man. So it's just all mutual respect at that point, because I almost not like it that way, because I probably should have been having more conversations with my brothers, but it all comes back around, man, and here we are. So I'm super excited, and just want to say thanks for all you've done, man, with hosting NXT and now Impact, and just glad to have dudes that I know have a great opinion and a great mindset, because that was all biz, bro. He didn't fuck around. He takes wrestling seriously and pays mad respect to it. And when you see somebody doing that, you got to up your game and pay the same respect to it. So I always respect his professionalism, and that's why he's the motherfucking Vet, baby. You better stop in line.
All right. Enough with the bullshit. Vet, this is your opportunity, sir. You can now officially. Look, Colin's in the chat room. Tell him how you really feel about him, man. Come on, let's be real. Let's be real.
Well, Colin's another guy. Like I meet him the first show we ever do, And
Really?
you know, there's a yes. I don't know who this guy is. I just get hooked up with him. He's my producer. We do a show, me, him, and Sergio. You know, and it's instant chemistry. Like he gets my flow and my sense of humor.
Right.
You know, all that stuff, and it's been a lot of fun. Here at HMG, working with the people I've worked with, instant chemistry. It's just little interactions with Ray. We get along already. Jargo's great. He and I have done some home run shows together. And so anybody that I look forward to working with in the future, it's probably going to be the same way. And like I said, I haven't talked to Ben a lot, but this show's going to be a home run. You know, maybe it's just me, or maybe that's just Hamin Media Group attracts that level of talent. That's all I can say.
I think you're right there with it. You know, I try and carry that same respect and knowledge and putting it forward, and I stick by my guns. And even if somebody might disagree with us, time usually vindicates what we're saying if they don't want to hear it. And you know, you're the exact same way I am, and that's just being a rip and al guy and knowing what's right versus what's short term and wrong and fickle. And I love that you stick to your guns like that too, Vet.
So what you're saying is that you like working with Colin?
It's been a real blast, despite all of the technical difficulties that we have had to face, and by we I mean him, because it's all his fault. Everything I've been has been 100% on point, and he's the one that runs out of internet or forgets to hit the record button or any of these other things. But despite all that, we're a great tag team, basically undefeated as a tag team.
Really?
Yeah, because with all these obstacles that get thrown in our way, whether they're his fault or not, we still overcome as a team. I'm not going to take all the credit for it. He is the one that does have to press record when he remembers to, and then we take care of the rest from there. Yeah.
So you're still not giving me a straight answer. Do you like the guy?
Yes. And I like that.
Tell me, you did not just say that.
Ever since I've joined the team, I've been privy to some sort of a mysterious history between you two that seems to have it seems to be a love-hate relationship. So I'm interested in learning more about this as time goes on. But we can feed that out like piecemeal. Sure. We don't have to drop everything. It's a mystery for us all to unravel together as associates and for the fans as well in the chat.
So I wanted to get your take on this really quickly, Vet. I know you've been keeping your ear to the ground, and Ben Hamin and the chat room are going crazy about this. So, apparently next month, according to multiple reports, that there's going to be a huge announcement regarding alien life form or UFOs or what they could be, and it's going to be a big public thing. And then, July 4th is right around the corner, quote unquote, Independence Day. Your thoughts, man?
I'm for it. Back to you guys.
What do you mean for it? What do you mean for? For what?
I'm for the announcement. Let's hear it. Come on, give it to me. Dude, yeah. I do not. Now, here's where Ben and I are a little bit different, and the Conspiracy Horsemen guys. I don't really pay too much attention to that stuff. I just let things, when they're officially announced, then I deal with it then. And I leave the speculation up to the other guys that find that more interesting. Okay. That's... maybe it's a boring answer, but that's as simple as that. I don't like to have to deal with anything until it's right in my face,
Well, speaking about having things in his face and maybe things up his ass.
Look what I did.
What did you do? What did you
I set you up. For that. I pitched you that softball.
Well, it's more like a watermelon because Ricochet, WWE's Ricochet is in the news. Yes, the old finger to the butt move.
Really?
Ricochet deletes tweet about female star after Backlash. Have you guys been paying attention to what's going on Twitter?
I missed this because he was on Raw and had a big spot on Raw this week. Well, what happened?
Well, okay. According to our friends over at sportskita.com, WWE superstar Ricochet has deleted his tweet that targeted former NXT Women's Champion Io Shirai following major fan backlash. Ricochet recently took to Twitter to respond to a tweet posted by WWE's official Twitter. WWE's tweet asked fans to post their choice for best high flyer in the company. Of course, this guy can't shut the fuck up, and he decides to jump on Twitter, and he says, and I quote, "There is literally no one who can do what I do, how I do it. but I'll let y'all discuss. Y'all, what does y'all mean? Do you know what that means, Vet? Y'all? There's more.
I believe it's a colloquial form of you all.
Okay, got it. Colin would yeah. Okay, I haven't heard that since we did the ridiculously random podcast.
We were in Kentucky for a long time. You hear a lot of y'alls.
Okay, I respect that. But here's the thing. Hold on, Ben. Before you jump in, I'm gonna finish reading this here. So people are going at this dude. That's because there's more than one, style of high flyers, blah blah blah. So anyway, so Ricochet goes back and he continues. Yeah, but none are as good as mine. So now at this point, he writes down, I'm not saying she's not amazing. Because they're going back and forth about her, about Io Shirai. They're like, "Whoa, Io Shirai is the best," blah blah blah. Why? Because she's a female and she's not the best. He writes, "I'm not saying she's not amazing." Ricochet responded, "She's 100%, but I can do everything she can, probably even better. She can't do what I'm capable of, maybe not even half." All right, I'll let you guys discuss this. This is the big comment that he just got freaking blitzkrieg, whatever the hell that term is, on social media, and now he had to delete that tweet. So, what do you think?
Go for it, Vet.
It seems a little strange for a guy like Ricochet, who's, since he's been with the company, has just been nothing more image-wise than an aw shucks babyface, to even put himself in that kind of in a light where he's bragging over, how much better he is than the women.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird. I don't know why he would do it. It's kind of disappointing. That being said, he's right, but don't say it. You know what I mean? Io Shirai can barely hit a moonsault, with decent consistency, and as far as it looks like that. It doesn't have that hang time, you know what I mean? Right. It's that quick flip over like Lita used to do it and hurt people and shit like that. So it's and she does some cross bodies, but she's really good. I'm not saying that, but it's my point is why say that publicly? You're only nothing good can come from it, and if that's not the role that you're playing on TV, then why play up? Why play up that heelish persona? Even if that's how you feel, keep it to yourself, unless you are a heel and you want to try to stir something up like that, But it's frankly, it's surprising to hear.
Yeah. Ben, your opinion on this, man. I mean, you're a big guy on shutting the fuck up.
Yeah, that's it. That's the Joey Mercury shit. Why the fuck are you selling for fans? Because you just instantly lowered your status by coming back. If you want to say the first thing and let it sit, I got no problem with that, okay? But when you start getting in this shit, now you're talking about going back, who's better, Io Shirai or you? Now you look like a fucking Meltzer Mark who's just arguing some dumb shit, man. And at the end of the day, you want to, if you're going against the women, Montez Ford's over here going, hold my motherfucking scissor up, dude. This guy's jumping out of your goddamn screen. He jumps so high on a springboard. So, and I can say Evan Bourne is a smoother high flyer than Ricochet. Ricochet, you don't think so? I think that shooting star press when time stops is pretty unbelievable, dude.
I love Evan Bourne, but Ricochet is, I don't know if I've seen anybody quite that's all subjective, and there is no really, you can't really be the 100% best at that, because there's some guy out there that's even better than everybody that no one's ever heard of just coming through. But
that dude Reggie could possibly outdo him, right? The Cirque du Soleil guy, if you get him on the top rope.
He's literally a Cirque du Soleil performer. You ain't getting better than that. But just in terms of wrestlers who are wrestling, Ricochet's at the top, and the best you can do is kind of tie with him, I would say. But
now here's the thing: I'm the best high flyer in the business. Okay, here's the microphone. Now you're a fucking kindergartner.
Well, again, he's been he's been at the mercy of some of the worst stuff that WWE's ever written down and handed to a person too at the same time. I think he can definitely pull off the aw shucks babyface if he's a little more natural with it. And what he did on Raw the other night wasn't too bad either, compared to what he had been doing. But the thing I wanted to touch on that you said, Ben, was about the social media thing. This is a thing to not just celebrities on Twitter getting into like conversations. Like social media isn't the place to have conversations. You're not going to change anybody's mind. You get in there, you hit them with something and let that be the mic drop and get out. Yeah. And if they respond to that, they're the loser. You know what I mean? That's basically it. You don't go back and forth with people. You don't have that kind of time. You're a superstar. You're lucky you even tweeted at all and everybody gets to read it. You don't have conversations on Twitter. It just gets sad at a certain point.
And that shows to, I think, you and I, that you still don't get how to be a worker in this shit. Like, you got to protect your superstar and your gangster, and you're right, that you get in with one and then you lay the fuck out. Last night on when hashtag YouTube down, I said, send $90 million in Bitcoin to hackerhamin@gmail.com and I'll turn your shit back on YouTube. Dude, I got 10, 15 responses from people who aren't even HMG followers or pop just for the fucking hashtag being in that thing. Like, fuck you, just to tune them up. I'm not going to come back over the top and try and get my shit in after that. I already fucking got my licks in, and you responded and ha ha ha, heels over strong. So he that to me shows that they are so addicted to the vanity metric and going back and forth, and that he really does feel some kind of way about not being respected as a high flyer instead of just being, this is what I have to do to show my ego as a performer, man. And that they just don't get it still. They still don't get it.
It's got to be frustrating for him because they're dropping the ball with a guy like that. So I understand that he's frustrated, but you still got to. There's just a certain way that you got to be if you want to get over. They're not gonna. It's not like they're gonna see a tweet from Ricochet and be like, "Oh, Ricochet's feelings are hurt. Well, let's cater to his ego." That's not the kind of people that he works for. Right. So, but they should feel ashamed of how. Remember the push he came in with, and you know we already forgot that he was the United States champion probably, and he got booked. Yep, and he got booked into that match, that big match in Saudi with Brock, and then what the hell was that? You know what I mean? Like, what are they doing with this guy? The WWE has been missing an underdog babyface that people could get behind to the level of a Shawn Michaels since Shawn Michaels. And they've blown it with so many guys since then. Like Evan Bourne could be one of them if you really want to bring him up.
Matt Sydal had all the money on him, but Shawn was great because there was no other dudes. He was the smaller guy who had to overcome. Now you got 15 guys who are in that mold, and none of them are special. Not at all. And
all the big guys are doing the same kind of stuff. If Roman Reigns is doing dives out the ring, like
right.
I mean, what is left for those guys? But nonetheless, you know, there aren't that many guys that can do what he do. Like he said, looks like he looks. And we can work with. I would love to work with a guy like that and just, you know, let him get him to that level. And I think people want to believe in him. He's got the cool entrance and everything. He's handsome. Ripped. He can do anything you want him to, and they're asking him to do the wrong things. That's what's wrong with Ricochet right now. Besides this tweet, of course.
Well, with all that being said, Ben, I got to tell you something, man. You gave me the absolute perfect segue to our next and final part of the three-part. Why did I say it that way? Part of the three count. So let's jump into this. Y'all, Ben Hamin, you put me onto this story yesterday.
What's that, bud?
$90 million in Bitcoin given to the Russian hackers. Talk about heels over strong, dude. Ben,
you motherfuckers.
Let's talk about this, man. I don't know if you heard about this, Vet, but apparently the gentleman who hacked the computer gimmicks that control the gas pipeline and shit here in the United States, you know, they were given how much, Ben?
5 million, I had heard, is what they were in Bitcoin. And
well, I heard 90 million.
Well, that was, I guess, another payment possibly. I don't know. I heard 5 out of the gate. And I also heard that the people who hacked it were also ones who started on the blockchain and have a way to, once they instantly deposit, increase their money like 100 to 1. So maybe if they got 90 million on the blockchain, it went up to 900 million, pretty much, or excuse me, 9 billion, right? That would be in Bitcoin, possibly, in the way it's split. Now, this is all hearsay, but I also believe that more than Russian hackers, I think this shit's happened right in fucking Virginia and Quantico, underneath the ground, and Cambridge Analytica. Dude, you got to look at who's invested in lithium. Take a look into Nancy Pelosi and what her and her husband invested in the last 2 years, hundreds of thousands of dollars, 200 grand in each, in lithium mining and lithium recycling. We're going to get it coming and going, and they're all pushing with this Green New Deal to get rid of gas. What happened to gas? We just have a shortage because of that out of nowhere, where prices go up. They're going to force your hand to have conversions of your car to electric. This is what they all are going to be invested in to make themselves from billionaires to trillionaires. And I don't bite on the Russian boogeyman fucking hackers that are holding people up. Also, let's throw the sexy Bitcoin in there as well. That's the hot button topic. It just feels like a fucking work to me, bro.
Vet, your opinion?
Sadly, I can't speak to any of this. I have enough trouble dealing with real money, and money's made up to begin with. Now imagine someone else comes along and just decides, hey, this is another currency that exists. I can't even put that over. I'm sorry. That's for everyone else to play around with. I've got my stacks. And
is it kind of like the same situation when Colin found out that he couldn't marry his cousin?
Again, I can't speak to that. I think you could speak to that more than I can. But there's one more little breadcrumb on the trail of the backstory, the origin story of Big Ray and Colin.
Well, listen, man, I got to tell you guys something. I'm excited to review this show, and I thought that this is the perfect guy to bring in. That's why I mentioned it last week. Ben, the vet, hit me up on the, we have like a secret chat. We don't use social media all the time. We have this secret gimmick that we use to communicate with people within HMG, and the vet was kind enough to hit me up to join us here. Because listen, we have a lot of shit going on in NXT. Next week is supposed to be like a really crazy show, and this week was supposed to be a really crazy main event. Excuse me. A lot of shit went on this week. Gentlemen, are you ready for NXT?
Yeah, man, let's do it.
Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it is NXT. May 18th, 2021. God, I swear I hate that fucking intro song. I want them to change it so bad. I say it every single week.
Ray, you can't.
What?
Are you going to disparage Poppy like that right in front of me? The great Poppy, the NXT original Poppy.
What? They have a dog?
No, it's Poppy. You know Poppy. She's done some live performances and everything. Dude, she's actually a pretty cool gimmick, man. I can understand how she fits into the world of pro wrestling, because her gimmick as an artist is that she's like an AI that came alive and went kind of rogue.
I have no idea about anything you just said. Just like Bitcoin. I'm serious. Like who is Poppy? I don't know who this is.
It's just essentially she's just like a pop star that went into this weird like nu metal kind of phase, but she started out as like with her gimmick was that she was kind of like a robot or something that was just learning about stuff, and then she kind of went off on her own. So it's a perfect marriage of pro wrestling. She's a better worker than most of the guys are. At least
that's interesting to me. I could see Genocide and her maybe doing something together. Silvio's lady and just a huge prospect. I heard Genocide's going to be on Busted Open Radio this morning. She is probably not. I heard 10:15. So she's doing real big things with Thunder Rosa stuff. But I like that AI come to life gimmick. I think that's pretty cool.
What does it have to do with a terrible song, though? I'm just trying to figure this out.
So is she. She's trying to figure it out. She's trying to figure out what kind of music she wants to make. You know what I mean? Now that she understands what the world is and maybe trying to find her place in it, she's trying some new things. It was complete bubblegum pop when she first started. So it's sort of evolved into this. But
it's interesting. Yeah. Did you see that AI that made the Nirvana song?
No. Did you see?
They took the Nirvana Unplugged album, Nevermind, and what was their first album, the Smells Like Teen Spirit or what have you, and they put it all in AI, and the AI crafted an entirely new Nirvana song. You can hear little bits that it took out from like Man Who Sold the World and stuff. And
serious?
Yeah, I think it's called like the Winter Days or some shit like that. But it's all made by an AI, man. That shit is interesting.
It's creepy because they also have they have the commercial that fucking, I don't know if you guys seen this, the one that really fucking creeps me out, where it's about children that are, in this country that are starving. So there's a little girl, talking, and she's like putting over, how, we need to help the children here in the United States. There are a lot of kids that go to bed hungry, kids that are homeless. And then at the end of the damn commercial, she looks in the camera and she goes, I'm an artificial intelligence. I am made of all the faces of the children that are starving. I'm like, oh shit, this chick wasn't even real. And it's so cool. And she's just staring a hole in my heart.
Well, dude, bro, that's 90% of what just happened with the Snyder cut of the Marvel movies. I mean, that's mainly what your Star Wars is, The Mandalorian. I mean, the actors are going to be obsolete, just voiceover artists, and then they won't even need them for that, bro. Like, they easily can just replace every actor if you want to, or Tupac hologram everybody sooner than later and go see the Beatles play at MSG, and none of them are alive. All these are right around the corner.
Yeah, no doubt. But listen, you know what? I got to tell you something. The NXT kicked off with one of my very, very favorite things. You know why, Ben? Because
I like big butts and I cannot lie.
It is Tony Storm. Yeah, pal. Tony, I can't do that like you. By the way, dude, I got to put over again, Mandir. Holy shit, that was awesome! That give me that you sent me with the
Mandir 666 Master Shoot Theater animated. It's up on my YouTube right now. Episode 3, I'll probably put up on Russo today. I've got episode 4, but I want to get them all out in chronological order. And then the new one on Russo brand that's not animated yet drops today as well. We had a lot of fun with it. But yeah, Frostbite BC or Mandir666 on Twitter. Give him a follow. Let him know how awesome a job he's doing with those animated Master Shoot Theaters. Tons of work there. Appreciate him.
All right. Well, speaking of tons of work, put some work. Anyway, so Tony Storm versus Zoe Stark, who I love both. I love both performers in the ring. But Vet, Tony Storm goes over in this match. It was a hard-fought match. Tony Storm hitting something I don't think I've ever seen before. At first I thought it was a mistake. I really thought it was like a botched move or something like that. I thought she killed the girl, but no, that was a finisher, or was it? Vet, what did you think?
Yeah, she made it up at some point. Well, I'm glad to see Tony Storm go over because I feel like they kind of job her out. It seems weird the way they treat Tony Storm because it almost seems like she'd be like the picture perfect person that they'd want to push. She's blonde, she's pretty, she's got a nice body, So it's like, what isn't this exactly what the WWE wants? But for some reason they kind of like go back and forth with her. But she's really just an awesome worker, I think, Tony Storm. I don't even qualify it with a gender. She's one of the best there is for her age. You have to think, like, she's 25. And I think she started in 2009. Mm-hmm. Do the math on that. You know what I mean? A 12-year vet at 25? Because they start early in Japan, where she kind of came through. So, and that finish that you're talking about, that was a very Japanese. So where she hits her finisher, the girl kicks out.
Hold on, why did you say it that way?
What?
You said it's a very Japanese. Did I just hear that? Or?
No, you heard that. I didn't say that. I said it's very Japanese because it's like you hit your finish or what used to be your finish, and then they kick out. So that gives them it makes them look a little bit stronger than you scrape them up and finish them off with some other new thing that's about to be your finish. So now that Storm Zero Tiger Bomb that she used to use will probably never finish anybody again. And this new move will be what she uses as a finish going forward.
Right, because they were like, nobody kicks out of that. They really put over the fact that nobody kicks out of her finisher.
Right. So that's just, I believe that's from her Japanese time. She may have come up with that or suggested that or something like that. But I'm always in favor of seeing more Tony Storm matches, especially if she's winning and getting pushed. Now, I don't really agree with her being a heel. I couldn't think of a more natural babyface than a Tony Storm. I mean, what's not to like? But I feel like people don't get over super, super, super over as baby faces through no fault of their own. And then when there's not enough good reaction, they just turn them heel. It's like, well, if the people are going to be indifferent anyway, we might as well turn you heel so that at least they're not booing a baby face. I think that's why you see like 90% of the turns. So she's trying to make lemonade and chicken salad with what they're giving her.
Ben, your thoughts on the vets' comments, number one. Number two, your thoughts on the match overall and Toni Storm's performance this weekend. And also, I wanted to hear your thoughts on
Great ass!
She does.
And you got your head all the way up it.
Oh, wish. That's fantastic. On you threw me off there. On Zoe Stark. Like, what do you think? I think this girl is a future star in the business. I love the way she looks. I love the way she works. She's so strong. She's so beautiful. In my opinion, she's extremely believable in that ring. Ben, what did you think of this match? What did you think of the vets' comments?
Best match on the card, in my opinion.
Wow.
Absolutely. I thought it was definitely a highlight. People were thinking they effed up on that finish. I did too. I was like, oh, she killed her. And then they replayed it. Oh, she hooked the head underneath, came down, brought her down, but it was very impactful. And actually, the way they're doing it on hard cam, I like it that way because it looks like a killer while she's protecting her, and you're not seeing that part of the wrestling. So I thought it was phenomenal. I don't mind her as a heel, but they're not playing to the ass stuff enough. You know, like they need to highlight, and her gear even needs to have like the butt cheek bottoms cut out or whatever, and she needs to point to it and then look at the camera and do no, much like Velvet Sky and Angelina would do. You know, that's where there's more money there to get people talking, to get her on World Star, to be, you know, whatever. Obviously she's got all the in-ring skills that she needs, but we're not highlighting things because of speaking out, Me Too or whatever. Fuck that. Sex sells. Her ass is her money. Fucking everything else on Instagram is that's where she needs to be doing it. I'm not usually a big proponent of social media, using it for that way and blowing your gimmick, but for her, she should definitely be highlighting Tony's ass pick of the week on there, and then make sure she's not giving any up to any of the boys. Like that's the here it is, and then take it away. You can't have this. That's what a heel really should be doing, is taking away the moments that people want. So, and also being like, you're not hot enough to get with me. Like that kind of shit I could see her doing, and people being like, damn, she's hot, but what a bitch. You know, like, so you're conflicted either way. And then you can always do comedy on that with a guy like Ellsworth, you know, waking up next to her in bed or whatever. But like, maybe that's the dude she chooses. People are like, what? Fucking Ellsworth? Their heads would explode. The Zoe Stark is really the star of this for me, bro. In the gym, you can see she puts the work in. Those flying knees or whatever she was laying in offense-wise was very innovative, very quick, snap, fast, looked devastating, but was all safe. And that's usually not what you're seeing from people in developmental territory. I watch the girls' matches with fucking Snacks and them on whatever show. Japanese, and fucking they can barely get the footwork right, and they do shit cans in slow motion. These girls are going full speed and laying it in, and it looks crystal clear. You know what I mean? Like it's tough to see any air in their stuff. Meanwhile, Rhea Ripley can barely throw a fucking working punch on Raw. So it's just like, here's these girls in developmental outshining the rest of the male roster in their match, because this match made sense, was good, and heels up because they needed heat here. Zoe Stark is new and she's impressive. We want to get behind her, but at the same time, Toni Storm is the bigger star and needed the heat here because we're first match kicking things off. We're going to have a big baby face ending at the end. Let's kick it off with some heel heat. So I liked the booking here, and I thought these girls were absolutely on point. I thought this was a really great match, and I think the vets, dead on in what he says, with especially with the amount of work that she has from starting at age 13 to where she is now. It's pretty apparent that she knows what the fuck she's doing. I just wish, like everything WWE creatively, they'd lean into the sexuality, or they'd lean into whatever the money making part of this girl is, and highlight it the right way.
I agree. Vet, I'm going to throw this to you, man. We have a couple of segments that came up on the show. we have the video montage, I guess you would say, or the vignette of the debut next week of Frankie Monet. What did you think of this?
What do I think of the video? It was hard. I mean, it's just hardly anything to talk about. It's just a little teaser, but we'll see when she gets. I mean, anybody that's been watching knows what Ty Valkyrie can do, so we won't be too surprised in that aspect.
Ooh.
I'm sorry, Frankie Monet. Wherever she might have been before, and whoever she might have been with, whatever companies. Well, we probably no one, but we should be prepared for what we're about to see. So that was fine. This was just barely worth talking about.
And Ben Hamin, we jump into another segment here where we have Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Let's just jump into all these segments put together. They're in a spa.
Let's do both of these right here. So this first spa segment where they're got cucumbers on the eyes, face mask, getting the massage, and Sam Shaw, what's his fucking name? Dexter, right? Yeah, he's giving her the rub to be like, in there giving her the massage like he was going to surprise her, but they're burying him, and he's just got to sit there and take it. The best acting we do is when?
Vet.
What the best acting we do is when we are what do you always say? Is it reacting?
Well, it is, but when we say nothing at all.
Yeah.
In his reaction, he didn't have to say anything, right? Like all that was set up to like pan back. We see the tattoo sleeve that's recognizable, and then his dejected look, and he just goes off. That reaction didn't need any words. So we don't need to script anything except reaction there, and he delivered it. This part of the scene was really, really good. The obliviousness of the women, we're in on the joke as the voyeurs, and then we see his reaction, and we feel something for him, and it's a comedy scene, so, it's playing at a high level of scene work. Then we blow it out our asses on the second one, where the fucking other masseuse comes in to talk about her credit card, and saying it was rejected, and puts over, well, did you buy something on it that you didn't pay off? Did you buy flowers and like the masseuse wouldn't be leading this fucking scene.
I was thinking the same thing.
Dude, it gets real plotty and predicated, and it's not natural anymore. And we're leading and pushing a scene to get to what the forgive me, I don't know the taller dark hair girl's name.
Indy Hartwell.
Indy Hartwell, her reaction of being oblivious, he still loves me and whatnot, is the go home. And that reaction was funny and comedic enough. But from where we were, we just really drove this scene into the ground to get really plotty and predicated with that walk on from a masseuse who had to really lead it. There was a lot of improv choices and a lot of writing choices that we could have gone another way to get to that finish. And it really would have probably been the highlight of the scene. It was still kind of the highlight of the scene work on this show. It's just some things that really needed to be tuned up there in that second segment.
Well, let me jump in and ask you, Vet, what would you have done to improve on the second segment? Because I agree with Ben Hamin where, you have, number one, if your credit card is declined, the credit card company is not going to tell the people that received the credit card that's declined exactly what you bought, when you bought it. Oh yeah, so apparently you bought a $25,000 worth of chocolate. No, they're not going to do that. So what would you have done to fix this scene up? Because I agree, I thought the scene was great, the two scenes, but then they kind of botched it towards the end. But your opinion?
Well, what would I have done to improve the scene? Cut them both. This is the kind of shit I don't want to watch, because before you get to all that stuff that Ben said, which he's right, well, first of all, when we don't say anything at all, Dexter Lumis doesn't have a choice. So that's the only kind of acting he can do.
Right.
However, we're not even just asking the question, why is there a fucking camera here? Who sent the camera? Was this Regal? He's like, get some footage of them getting a massage or whatever. Like, why is the camera here? Or did they bring it themselves only to get up, to be made fools of? So it's either their cameras that they brought to look stupid, or NXT sent cameras for some inexplicable reason to watch the Way get a massage. Fuck this shit. Cut this shit. We could have got more something else with Frankie Monet, longer something there, like a longer preview, longer vignettes, more vignettes. But instead we got this. I don't want to watch this.
Yeah, I don't agree.
That's interesting to me. That's interesting because there is times where we're doing the reality of wrestling, but the voyeurism of the TV show where we're watching a scene outside. But I see where you don't want the crossover in between because, like, why is there a camera there? But, you know, me being an actor and whatnot as well, I don't mind these where we go into the personal life to suspend disbelief like it's a sitcom scene as long as it's done well.
It'd be different.
Takes it out of it, yeah.
It'd be different if you were in the trainer's room getting a massage at the PC, because then it would make sense why there might be a camera here. If you remember, like, in the, like, 10, 11, however many years ago, and TNA would always, like they'd be in, like, Hogan's office or Bischoff's office or something, the door would be cracked, and they'd kind of, like, shoot through the crack. It's almost like that's the voyeurism we're talking about. It's like someone's capturing these moments for whatever reason. We don't know who or why, but it's like this is business that's taking place and we're kind of spying on it.
Yeah,
so we can see behind closed doors. That's one thing that TNA did that you can never take away from them. I don't know if that was Russo's idea or what, but I always liked that because it gave a reason for the camera to be there. Most of the time, it's just like, fuck it, who cares? We just want to get our shit in, so just film. We're gonna do this skit.
Let me
bad sketch comedy from guys who don't write sketch comedy or perform sketch comedy.
And I don't know how we get here, but what if it was a Dexter Loomis where he's going to hot tag one of the masseuses and he sets up his phone because it's like going to be some reveal of him. So he's the one who gets it on tape to some degree. I'm just trying to patch up, and whatnot. That'd be a little bit too much, but I don't mind when we go to sitcom for backstory because it helps with the suspension of disbelief of we're all in on the joke that this is a wrestling show. You know what I mean? And we're gonna try and create this outside world that you guys can follow us along to. But yeah, nobody's gonna let cameras in the fucking girls' massage room because otherwise I'd be in there with the camera all the fucking time.
Well, I think we've also become desensitized to the fact that there are cameras everywhere all the time. Even in the hood, like
go back to it, set up with cuts and shots.
No,
of
I know.
Yes, exactly. There's when you have coverage, we got a problem.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say that even when I go to my mother's, when I go to visit my mother, and she lives in the hood, now they have cameras everywhere. So I'm just used to it. But listen, gentlemen, it is time to.
Whoa! I'm going to the top, and I'm going to the moon. Whoa! Yeah!
That's the Colin Wysong mating call right there.
I think he left the chat. I think he's angry at me.
Oh,
what do I do?
You got to still be in there.
Can you believe this son of a bitch is him and his lovely wife Marilyn? Hi, Marilyn. That's I'm sorry, the Fiend. The Fiend, and they're coming from North Carolina to my wedding.
Nice.
Really?
Man.
No sales, nothing. It's probably pretty fucking awesome.
Sorry, Timmy Baltimore's hitting me up at the same time.
I would expect nothing less.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man. I love Colin.
He's gonna get all the way. Does anybody object? And then Colin's gonna stand up, professing love there. That's right. That's the reason why he's coming is to stop this wedding.
Well, my family's gonna be there. I wouldn't do that if I were him. But anyway, and it's gonna be in our name. Anyway, it is what it is. Hey, listen. Speaking of so we're taking this to the moon. We're going to whatever the hell. We have Jake Atlas versus Cameron Grimes in what I thought was a good match. The way the match ended was interesting. We hear the laughing in the theme song, which we heard earlier today when we were talking about the Bitcoin gimmick of Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. I'm going to do this really quickly. So the $1 Million Man jumps it. What Ben?
It's a nice, good one.
Oh, thank you. It's really early in the morning. So the $1 Million Man comes out, distracts Cameron Grimes, and he gets rolled up for the 1, 2, 3. So Jake Atlas, who confronted Cameron Grimes before the show, not backstage, outside in the parking lot, they went back and forth. Cameron Grimes throwing a $100 bill in his face, so on and so forth. But this match ends this way, which will set up what's going to happen next week. There's going to be a $1 million face-off between Cameron Grimes and the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. I'm going to go to Ben first on this one, and then you can feed off of that, Mr. Fett. What did you think of this, Ben?
The match or the roll-up gimmick?
Just this whole segment as a whole.
Yeah, I mean the guys outside who are in developmental, and who's the guy that he fought? Atlas, is that what his last
Jake
name?
Atlas, yes,
Jake
sir.
Atlas, yeah, that kid. You know, he's a fucking brick shit house. He's kind of like Clark Kent outside with the nerdy shirt and glasses on, and then he looks like a stud when he's in the ring. So that's an interesting thing that we could possibly play along with to do that. But I was surprised how much time they let him pull with Grimes, because the business is really the finish with $1 Million Man coming out for the distraction. And Ted DiBiase, he's lost probably about 20 to 30 pounds since I worked indie shows with him. And I'm glad
he looks good. He looks healthy.
Yeah. We've talked about how it's interesting that they even have him on the show with what's going on with his son's, sticky situation that they put themselves in money laundering wise down south, man. And that to me is an interesting gamble. However, if you're going to do this gimmick with Grimes, it's almost a necessity to pass the torch with the rich guy thing. And every segment they've done has been pretty, funny to some degree. They did botch it a little because Ted forgot to lock the car door at the end of this when he's just supposed to roll down the window. And Grimes, the door opens, he closes it, and then puts his hand over it and keeps trying to pull. So things like that I laugh about because that's just shindy-rific. And somebody missed it, the Iggy to fucking lock the door so he couldn't get in. But this Atlas kid shined, man. I thought was really good. And I always like the reaction that we get of "God damn you, DiBiase" at the end. Like they should have the cameras over him to get those reactions to pull back where he's looking up at the sky. Like Cameron Grimes is just really getting it with character after finally like, what kind of carny weird thing am I now? He's Beverly Hillbillies. He's new money with Southern fucking, redneck ethics. And I think there's so many places we can continue to go creatively here. I think he really gets it. And this is a character that will a lot of time we're like, well, what are you going to do when you get to the main roster? This is a gimmick that can keep going.
I got to tell you, Vet, so me and Ben have been covering Cameron Grimes from when he was the Carolina Caveman over in TNA or Impact Wrestling. What did you think of this segment, man? Anything you could have improved on? The match. What about the match itself?
The match itself is fine. Jake Atlas is a guy that I don't really see them wanting to do anything with, but he can be a good, a job guy, let's face it. But like, he can be a guy that it's going to be a tough out kind of a deal. You know what I mean? Like, Jake Atlas is not going to go quietly. That's about the most that I see. I'm not saying that's all he can do. I'm saying that's where I think the WWE has put his ceiling at this point. The finish was like, I'm so tired of a guy's music hitting in the middle of a match, and then a guy comes out, stands there, does nothing. The other guy gets, beat. Can you be any lazier? The answer is no, but I'm asking the rhetorical question just to make the point. We know
where we're going. We just got to get, like, you already know DiBiase's coming out at the end. What's the spot going to be to get there, to get to it? So the 8 minutes, 10 minutes beforehand is just like, we're just waiting for the business. You know what I mean? It's not like out of nowhere because we know we've seen what the game is to be played out. We're just waiting for it to fucking hit.
The game.
Yeah. Still terrible though, and I would just like to see them spend more than 30 seconds thinking about something to do. If you're going to have Ted DiBiase come all the way there, you're going to have him roll up in a limo, you're going to have him stand on a stage, and you're going to have him roll away in a limo. Great use of your WWE legend.
I want to see Ted just like sprint into the ring, slide under the bottom rope, and hit him with a Hurricane Rana.
Yeah, exactly.
Why not, right?
It don't have to be that, but but just anything but what they did. And then Ben already covered the part about him accidentally opening the fucking door.
That was funny.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
is this not a pre-tape? I mean, could you have not said do it again? Yeah. Like what are they doing? Yeah, Come on.
Well, doesn't that add to the realism? I mean, do you not forget to lock your car?
The realism is when the door when the door opens, you grab Ted DiBiase by the lapels and then have him tell the driver to peel out. That's the realism. Yeah. Once you've opened the door, you don't then close it yourself and then pretend you can't open it again after we all saw it open.
See, I put your hand over the fucking crack where you're trying to fucking do it.
And it still came off one time, like at the very end, like it still opened again.
He still didn't lock it. He still didn't give a fuck. He might have done it to rib him like at the same time, but I love that. I love that Botchamania wrestle crap shit when that goes down. We had this scene, and then a door opening that much kills everything, and everyone in it is rotten. And like, what are you gonna do? It's fucking wrestling. You do it again is the answer.
Yeah, that's the answer.
When I saw this, I thought to myself, with the door opening, I thought DiBiase was holding the door closed, but yeah, if you listen to us here at HMG, you're gonna start watching the shows that you watch with a much more critical eye, and you'll be able to pick things out like this. I got that off of you guys.
But we got about 4 to 6 more weeks to play this part of the game out.
So what's going to happen next? That was my final question.
So
about
that right now we're playing adversaries one-upsmanship is the game, right? And fucking foiling him and the money thing. Until we jump the shark, we got about 4 to 6 weeks left in that. Then we got a whole nother 3 months to tell the story of DiBiase taking him under his wing and them being together and doing the mentorship that way. There needs to be a time when either Grimes finally gets over on DiBiase and earns his respect, or DiBiase beats him down so low and then says, "Come on, kid, I'm going to show you how to really do this shit." And we get to see that relationship develop as well.
Well, unfortunately for Cameron Grimes this week.
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
What about getting a Virgil to go along? Like, who's going to be the next Virgil for Cameron Grimes? I think that's an interesting spot to put somebody in and develop from.
It can't be an African American gentleman.
Yeah, I was gonna say it better be a white dude.
It's gonna be a white guy.
Why would it, dude? If we can have Nigerian drum matches, we can put a black guy in as fucking that.
But we can't. We got to be better than that, Ben. NXT's got to be better. They've got to be better.
Got to be a binary, all-inclusive. Whatever.
Right. We can't do. Every time I see SmackDown, I can't believe what I'm looking at. Like, I really can't believe in 2021 I'm seeing what the fuck I'm seeing. Anytime that Apollo's out there, he's with Dabba-Kato in that shitty jacket. That is the worst jacket of all time. The fact that he's not anywhere near Nigerian, Apollo Crews still being named Apollo Crews after he changes everything else in his gimmick, and he's still named after the two. He's still named after the two black people that a white writer thought of. Apollo Creed and Terry Crews or whatever. So, one of those guys isn't even. He's fictional. So it's. I can't believe it.
I mean, dude, it's so bad, and now he's doing Nigeria.
This is the worst. It's the reverse Kofi Kingston, like where Kofi dropped the accent. He found one. He picked one up and found one.
Shit to me about appropriation after this type of shit, man. For me. Fuck it. Let the stereotypes roll, baby. I don't give a shit if it's 2021. Everything's cyclical. Let's bring this shit back to 85 for those who don't got a clue, man. So when Palestine's got heat, Hamin's got heat, bro. I told the promoter, I go, dude, I'm glad this shit broke out over there. Otherwise, we're going to have to change our fucking gimmick to the white school shooters. That would be the only other fucking heat that I could possibly do. He was like, oh. I was like, yeah, I'll do it if you need me to.
Yeah, so are you guys ready to take this show to the next level? I'm talking about one of the best promos I have ever heard. Pete Dunne. Ben?
Respect to the bumps this guy's put in, respect to his fucking technical wrestling ability.
On his face.
Yeah. Obviously he's on the gas mask.
Sorry.
His forehead's huge. He's got the acne breakout. He's lost 40 pounds. You don't just do gas and get jacked, though, bro. You work your motherfucking ass off to get to that level. So, there's that. But the chipped tooth, the hype that they fucking talk bruiserweight, dude. If that guy tried to fuck with me in the grocery store parking lot, I'd leave him fucking laying. Like he don't look impressive like he's gonna whoop that ass. You know what I mean? So don't talk like you're gonna whoop that ass. This character and the turn for him is all wrong. The fact of I have the best match. Oh, there's nothing more indie and fucking bullshit than that, in my opinion, dude, because it's not about having the best match. The best match is the right match in the right spot on the card. But these guys don't think that way at all. They think, I'm going out there, I don't give a fuck where it is, we're going to steal the show. Well, then you're not doing the entire show a service where everybody gets the fuck over. And he just doesn't connect with the promo, bro. He does not connect with the audience, the interviewer, and he doesn't know what his voice is yet. Does he have the technical skill? Absolutely. But when it comes to fucking character, we're still in kindergarten with this shit. There's no way Vince is he's gonna go to the main roster. Vince is gonna see him size wise and then see what he does promo wise and have, this is our guy going forward. This is our next Daniel Bryan. No, it's not. It should be. He should be doing the Daniel Bryan underdog shit. Not that I'm a supreme ass whipper at 5'7", 165 pounds. Please, I'll punch a fucking hole in your chest, bro.
Vet, your thought on the bumps on the face? I mean, taken by this gentleman.
Well, even though you were joking, this is the best promo Pete Dunne's ever done. So,
and we need a lot of work. Like that's, to me, I'm not trying to tear the guy down because Vet, what I came to OVW, what I came from comedy to do was to take performers like this, show them what is inside themselves, pull it out, turn the volume up on it, and then fucking. Now we're going to get someplace. Now we have some real clay to mold into something. But if this is his best effort, then they have no acting coach direction or anything of like that, how to teach people how to bring it out of them.
It's his best effort yet, but still not quite enough. But then again, I don't know. To me, I can see a guy like Pete Dunne having done all he could do over in the UK and wanting to try his hand at America just because he's worked everybody over there probably and he's tired of it and he wants to get some new matches and some fresh work and stuff like that. I can see that. I just don't see a lot of place for him here because he doesn't bring enough else to the table besides his wrestling's like for that being his thing, there's still a lot of guys that do it way better than him. So it's not, he can't even be the best at that. Pete Dunne's never done anything for me and I don't think he's going to anytime soon. I will say this to the point about, sounding like a tough guy or whatever. And like, I know what you're saying, Ben, like, he's not that guy, but at the same time, like, what is he supposed to, of course he's supposed to sound tough. He's supposed to try to sound tough. He's not going to be Oliver Twist. Like, please, sir, may I have a match? Like he's got to sound tough. It's up to us whether we buy it or not, but yeah, I just, I don't know. I kind of feel like he's kind of reached his ceiling already here at NXT, and he's never. I don't think they're gonna want him up there, and he's not the underdog type. He's too big of a dick. Like he's a natural dick, so he's gonna be a heel, and like he can get heat by being a small guy that thinks he's bigger than he is and stuff like that. But there's people out there that are already doing it better than him, so I don't know if we need a Pete Dunne.
Although now you've got me intrigued because I'd like to see a whole pickpocket angle on Raw where everyone's wallet comes up missing and they find Pete Dunne's bag with 16 wallets in it. What? Yeah, man. I'm not trying to shit on the guy for that, but the one thing that in this promo that was like, he's just talking out what we say behind the scenes of like, people don't know what it's like to take a pile driver in real life. They know what it's like to have their finger hurt when you hit it with a hammer or whatever. He was kind of talking that out in the promo, and I was like, all right, this is basic 101 where they're trying to just say what we say. And I think when you were in the chat last week here on Next Level, you may have agreed with me. I wasn't sure. He's putting over all the digit locks and finger things. Aren't digit locks and that illegal because the ref wasn't counting them and he wasn't, admonishing him for it. And this guy's making it his thing. Well, fuck it. If that's the way, a hacker's going over with a fucking double. I'm going to try and pull your fucking middle and ring finger apart till they're out the other side. Like if Pete Dunne can do it, well, why the fuck can't I then?
That was a big spot for him. The Marty Skrull thing where he takes the fingers and wishbones them a little bit, and stuff like that. But yeah, and like you also touched on it, where where he's talking about I've had great matches and stuff. Don't say that. A great match for you is you won in 30 seconds. That's a great match for you, for the wrestler. For you shouldn't care whether the fans liked it or not. It should. Yeah, they're talking. We want to win because we don't get paid by the hour, right?
They're talking fan work rate. Hey, I went out and pulled 30 fucking minutes. Well, I beat that guy in 2.5 minutes last week. So who the fuck is? They think because we went out and they're talking about the art form and while they're trying to do character, they don't understand how fucking wrong that absolutely is in the view of things. So you're just doing shit for a 10% of the Meltzer Mark audience who wants to rate your fucking matches. I'm doing it to look believable as a motherfucking heel. So I'm not going to go out and pull 30 and be like, ROH handshake at the end. I'm going to beat you the fuck down and throw you the fuck out of my ring. That's what he should be doing. If he's the best wrestler, he should be catching guys out of nowhere right away and hitting something strong. But that's 100% right, Vat, on what you're saying about talking out. I had the best match. Okay.
But in fairness, he's not booking himself, so he's got to work the matches he's got to work. But just don't say it. That's an epidemic that's in the wrestling business where guys are forgetting like. You're supposed to be portraying an athlete. You're not supposed to sit here and say like, "Oh yeah, fans love my match."
Hey, gentlemen, I just want to interrupt real quick. We have some.
That's bullshit. Society reviews. I got to call bullshit on.
We have some breaking news here. Very famous Paul Mooney.
Dude, Paul Mooney's been dead.
Oh, he's dead?
Yeah,
motherfucker.
Paul Mooney been dead, bro.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, I am sure about that.
All right, so I played in
because I watched shit with his kids. I watched Vlad TVs with his kids where he'd already been passed away, and fucking because they were talking about Richard Pryor being a queer crack addict, and that that Mooney may have molested somebody else's kids, and I'm just like, wonderful. Yeah, dude, like no, like that. Paul Mooney's been dead.
You know what? We got some more breaking news. I just got had by the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, so is it safe to say that Pete Dunne is the Theon of NXT? Reek, Game of Thrones.
I don't know. Maybe I'm fucked up too. Maybe he was just all fucked up and not, because everything is 49 minutes ago, unless everybody's getting had. So I could be wrong. TMZ's got it up, and who am I to go against Ryan Satin?
Okay. So I could start playing the music again.
Yeah,
we're all. This is CNN. All right. Anyway, whatever.
Well, Paul Mooney's an unsung legend, in comedy. A lot of people probably only even saw him when he was on the Chappelle Show.
Yeah.
But he's been doing so much behind the scenes, like as a writer for Richard Pryor and just his own stuff. You know what I mean? And
just ask every interview. They all stole it from me. They stole it. It's all.
So Paul Mooney.
I believe it.
Paul Mooney was not dead then.
Well, he's dead. Either way, whether it was 3 months ago or now, he's dead.
He tapped out. Got it.
But yeah, shout out to Paul. And dude, he seems so effeminately gay in his delivery, but in like proper, but he's got 3 kids, I believe, too. 2 sons.
Paul Mooney?
Yeah, dude.
You think you thought he was effeminate?
No, his delivery, because especially during the Chappelle Show and when he was doing the the
and he'd wear women's head wraps and things like along those lines, dude. Definitely, I thought that he was like that's why I really believed he was behind the scenes as the writer, because during the 70s and 80s, him doing kind of a RuPaul-esque thing wouldn't have been that accepted. You know what I mean? I've been in theater a long time, bro, and my gaydar is pretty in tune. Apparently, I was wrong on this one, but fucking that when I saw Paul Mooney even early on in the 80s, I was like, okay.
Well, that happens too when you grow up around a lot of women. Like if you have a lot of sisters and stuff,
Sure.
It may be nothing about your sexuality, but it's just the mannerisms you pick up. I'm not sure. I'm not his biographer or anything. But it is unfortunate and sad news.
We could have used some Paul Mooney fucking writing for that Pete Dunne promo.
Oh shit.
That's a fact, by the way.
Or that massage scene.
Yeah.
That's a fact, Vet, because I have a friend that grew up alongside his uncle raised him. His uncle was very, very effeminate. He was, straight up, very flamboyant homosexual man, and my boy was not. But
but he might have some of those, very what seems to be suspect personalities, but it's just who we inherit that from. So shout out and no disrespect, I guess, to the Mooney clan, but yeah, dude, that guy was a brilliant comedic mind for 40, 50 years, dude.
All right, guys, let's talk about something that's really
Gay!
This segment. Killian Dane versus Alexander Wolf. I was not a fan of this shit. I did not like the way they did it. Didn't like the match. I didn't like the way Alexander Wolf looked. There's a lot of things to break down here, guys. The reason why I'm saying that, and I'll go to Vet first. Vet, if you don't mind. Alexander Wolf looks like Ben always talks about being TV ready, body wise and stuff like that. What's going on with Alexander Wolf body wise? Number one. Number two, what did you think of the way that the boys turned on him? Do you think this was too fast, too quick? I just found that this was done it was like a cheap turn, if that makes any sense. Is that even a term in wrestling? No, probably not. But what did you think of this segment, man?
All these guys can get on a boat and get their asses back home, as far as I'm concerned. I don't give a fuck about not one of them. But that is the thing. First of all, you're asking us to sympathize for a heel that just got turned on by other heels. Mm-hmm. And this heel hasn't even been hanging around that much. It's like he's just recently returned. And then they're off TV. Imperium's only on when was it Imperium on last week?
They via iPad, Walter via iPad on TV. And
iPad? What about the week before that? What'd they do?
I think it was a similar pre-tape promo, something stupid.
Yeah, so how much investment can we really get into this group where we know that the leader has no interest in moving to America, working in America, staying in America. So the only interesting guy in Imperium staying over in the UK, and we're not going to get very much of him unless it's on an iPad. And then you take the flunkies and they're a crew, and we're supposed to care about that. They're not getting any real heat on anybody else, and now they get heat on each other, and we're supposed to care. None of this is going to work on any level. But I guess you're just justifying why you asked these guys to move over to the States and just putting them in a segment here, and the slapdashery shows.
It makes no sense at all.
I think what you said about body wise could be the reason why they did that, because now they get heat on him, you're going to make him a baby, but he doesn't have the physique that people are like, ooh, I have sex appeal and I want to live through him. So this guy could be is dangerously close to being on the chopping block if they're doing that. And they might have done this as a test to send a message to him where everybody else apparently knows where to get Florida B12 water, but the guys in this match don't. And it also shows that you have catering, nutritionists, rehab facilities, a gym, and why are you not in there 4 to 6 hours a day like a guy like Pete Dunne might be, to show him that he wants this shit at any cost? So work ethic could be a big part of this. Now, I'm not passing judgment because I don't know this guy at all or anything along those lines, but that's spot on. The only guy worth fucking any interest is Walter, and he's not there. So these other guys, lackeys, kick-arounds, what do we give a shit? And the other thing is I like big hairy Killian Dane looking like Balls Mahoney, but he could lose 20 pounds and be even more impressive with that same thing. I mean, you could say the same thing about myself and Kevin Owens. So I hope he does the work, because they're going to look at him a certain way. But the fact that he's got the big hairy arms and looks like a fucking biker from Hog Wild or whatever, that's a different look than everybody else. Let me put this to you, Vet. To get these guys interested, if Walter's not there, who looked awesome on camera to me last night and looks ring fucking ready? Wade Barrett. Could we have put Wade Barrett in here as the interview guy and then revealed Wade Barrett as the leader of Imperium here and commanded those guys to sick him, would that have done anything more for you to get him out of the crew?
Nah, that would just be more like out of nowhere hot shotting, like, oh, all of a sudden Wade Barrett is that's just so right. No. Now if you wanted to work that into something, like have them talk him into it, and then you make it seem like he's not interested, and then he changes. I'm afraid I've changed my mind, or something like that. You want whatever you want to do, but like no one takes their time with anything anymore. Everything's like rushed as if this is going to be the last show that they ever get to produce.
Who knows?
And if it is, or like if plans change or something, or someone gets hurt or things like that, then you can change and drop the idea, because they drop ideas just on a whim anyways. So it's not that big of a deal to drop an idea, but at least to have like a long-term plan and see if you can go with it. If you have to drop it, fine. If you get to do it and it goes nowhere, fine. But at least you tried. So if they want to do something with Wade Barrett, they got to do way more than just have him be like, I'm the surprise leader of Imperium, and I'm just the announcer too, just in case, and then I can put over Imperium on the mic every week, that kind of thing. I will say I wanted to add about real quick. I just wanted to add about Alexander Wolf. Like, he never had a good physique anyway, so he kind of looks more or less the same he's always did. But he used to wear like a top on his singlet to cover that shit up. So I mean,
how long has he been in NXT?
How long has he been? For years. Like, he's probably had quite a long run.
How can you still be in shit shape? It shows lack of work ethic to me. It shows. And if I'm office and we took a chance on this guy because he's wrestling technically competent and his promos aren't getting better and his body's not getting better, then what the fuck are we spending money on for?
I don't know why he was ever there. I don't know. Like, you should have been able to identify. You should be able to identify what your investments not paying off in the future much quicker than the WWE seems to. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later, and I'll bring it up again when Ray gets to it. But
how about the fact of this is a false positive? The UK fans with this bullshit gassing up and fucking soccer chants of who they want to pretend is over, whether it's the shoe thing or whatever bruiserweight bullshit. Then when you fucking bring them over and the fucking real light is shined on them, the truth is all that was UK fan hype bullshit that WWE got hooked on and fucking brought these guys over before anybody else, and to create NXT UK with a whole roster of guys who are never going to get over. We're just wasting money. Go ahead, Vet.
Well, first of all, Alexander Wolf wasn't over in the UK either. So let's get that right out of the gate. But originally, when he came over, it was with Sanity, with Eric Young in there, with Killian Dane and Nikki Cross. So
does anybody remember the "You look old" chants that he would get?
I don't remember that. Just like old.
He had his hair kind of like blonde. It looked no, I'm serious. It looked almost gray, and I remember on a weekly basis people chanting, "You look old."
That I lean into it and give him old man makeup and tell everybody he's 80, and then he comes down and whoops everybody.
So I just think Alexander Wolf is probably a case of one of those things where, how sometimes there's like tryouts and stuff, and there's like you're looking at all the people in the tryout, and you're just like, man, these guys are trash. But here's this one guy, like, he kind of stands out. Maybe we'll give him a job. If Alexander Wolf was the best guy at whatever tryout he was at, that'd be the only way I could see that. If everybody else was so bad that he stood out enough that they said, oh, let's sign this guy. I don't mean to disparage him because I don't know anything about him. I'm sure he's a nice man, but at some point it's fish or cut bait, and this has never been an attractive fishing trip.
Either he could be
now as the worker, I'm like, if there was a WWE tryout, could I get 40 of the top shitty indie workers that I know, pay them $100 a piece, and then I go in there and outshine everyone? Like, stack your tryout with shitty guys. But that's an interesting hypothetical. That definitely could have been the case, man. No doubt about it.
Vet, you say he's a nice man, but we don't know. Maybe he goes into the metro and punches Mexican babies in the face. You don't know. Kicks puppies. He could be a terrible man, but we'll assume the best. Now, look, we're gonna speed through some of this stuff, guys.
I'll tell you one thing: he should definitely be worried about his spot right now after getting beat down like that, there's no babyface spin out for him that I see that's going to get him over based off of those circumstances, those guys kicking him out, and he may be future endeavored sooner than later.
Well, is this a plan? Is this a ploy, a plot on behalf of that group where they basically are kind of trying to get Killian Dane to join them? So is there a possibility that this
I don't think so. Those guys
hold on.
alien looking dudes, and unless Killian Dane loses fucking 100 pounds, you're not like, those guys have a certain Nazi youth look to them, and that guy doesn't fit it.
All I'm saying is don't be surprised if they rushed this. We think it's rushed. Now maybe I'm giving people too much credit, but maybe, if I was writing it, you think it's rushed. But this is all a long-term plan to get Killian Dane in with that group.
What? Killian Dane's
why does Killian Dane get a long-term plan?
Because Killian Dane is fucking awesome. That's why.
Is he?
Yeah. Anyway.
Boo!
Oh, don't do that. That's not nice. All right. So like I said, we're gonna speed run through a lot of this shit here. So I'm just gonna Dakota Kai backstage with Rachel Gonzalez, blah, blah, blah. Rotten go. Yes, absolutely.
To say about this,
you don't like Everrise. Everrise not over. Okay, got
Dakota Kai is not. Everrise is over.
Okay, they're good. They're actually very. I call them the dumb fucks because they remind me of a Fat Young Bucks team. But
that's fine. But dude, they're doing the morning talk show host thing. That the only thing that was a problem with this, who's the kid in the front with the dark hair who's got the more charisma?
Regardless, Martell something Martell.
Rick Martell.
He's doing his bit, and this is the difference. And I don't know why, if in pre-tapes, why we're not doing this again. This is OVW 101. He's talking to them and the girls, but he's got his back shoulder, so he's looking this way instead of just turning and opening up and talking this way, so we can see everything. All we see is his back and his shoulder, and not his face of the reaction. So as good as they are charisma wise, nobody just spun. Like, I would go up, I'd be like, cut. I'd talk by the shoulder and I'd turn him that way. I go, now go and do exactly what you did again. So it's even the small things in positioning where these kids are still in developmental for a reason.
Now, when I was talking about tryouts earlier, now Everrise are the guys that go on tour with the tryouts to every tryout and pay their own money for every tryout. And then they're asking, how come we can't, what is it going to take for us to get a job? That's what Everrise is. And they finally just wore somebody down and they got jobs.
Well, they got jobs. I don't.
But they are better charisma wise than probably 70% of their roster. So it's just finding the right thing for them.
All right, guys, we got
Force Pro Wrestling charisma.
We got Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher versus Legado del Fantasma. This match ends with the heels going over strong. So what did you think of this match really quickly, gentlemen? Vet, you first.
It was all right. Ben?
Come on, Vet. It was not all right.
It was not good.
I know. I'm just trying to get through it like he wanted.
Oh, no.
This was like, we both came up with Tommaso, and we got massive respect for Ciampa, bro. Like, seeing this guy from.
Well, I lost it all. I've lost it all over the years. And I'll give you one example of why. The longer, the people that remember me from the Next Level before, they've heard me go off on Ciampa and Gargano multiple times.
Sure.
Over the shows on what they do, and just to give you an example, what kind of shit that I'm tired of is like, that spot he does with the running clotheslines, where he hits 20 clotheslines. Like, I'm just like, the nerve to ask somebody to sit there in the corner and like a fuck and just wait for me to run across the ring, hit another guy, then come back to hit you like multiple times. Like, I have no respect left. There's no respect left.
Yeah, on hot tag to come in and ping pong, I don't got a problem with. Well, I heated on him, bro. I've heated on him to his face twice at an indie show and at NXT. I always get along with him. He's always super cool to me. One sec. Yeah, dude. This get your shit in spot stuff that kills wrestling is absolutely brutal. They had both of these guys in a camera picture. Serious ankle lock, shooter ankle lock. Then both guys are on the cell, whether they know how to do a fucking both roll through at the same time to do a false pin, dude. I hate that kind of fucking water, like synchronized swimming shit. Like that's what it feels like the women in the 1930s in the pool. Now we're all gonna do this together.
Was this the one where the ref wouldn't count it because both guys were in the ring? When has that ever stopped them before?
Refs are getting buried left and right, and that's a whole nother fucking part of this too. Of like, I'm going, what the fuck? The other guy's legal. Refs not admonishing anybody. They're just letting them get all this shit in. Everybody's buried, and now we're doing synchronized swimming from guys who actually can wrestle and are shooters. And that was just really bad, dude. I told him, I go, Chomp, I don't want to see you doing any more of these fucking bumps with your neck after it's been repaired. Next thing, what do? Adam Cole fucking gives him a goddamn kryptonite crunch off the top of the cage through a table. 1-2 kick out. I go, what the fuck, bro? Like, I don't want to see this guy who's got young kids be paralyzed, but the sickness of wrestling, of what I have to do to keep getting over in front of Triple H and Shawn, has got him and Gargano completely fucked up in their minds, bro, of what to do and what not to do. And I asked him at a show of like these overbooked finishes and falsies and things along those lines. He goes, yeah, dude, I know you look at it at OVW, Rip and Elway. He goes, but they look at it as a ladder of just going up the next step. But that's wrong, because they get to the highest rung, and then when they overbook, they miss the moment, and it lowers it 2 rungs on the ladder of the pop that could be. And that's exactly what we saw in the main event tonight.
There's a way to do what they're trying to do without looking stupid. You don't have to do it the way they're doing it. And it's not like you just have to be stuck in an old school way of doing it. They just don't know how to make the new school make sense.
Right, exactly.
It's all about making sense at the end of the day. It doesn't mean you have to sit in a chin lock for 45 minutes or whatever, like you're Luke Gallows or something. But I'm just saying, like, the way they're doing it is not right. And when, like, the last time we saw Walter, it was Ciampa hitting him with 23 clotheslines. He wouldn't take a bump. And I'm just like 20, I counted them. I actually ran it back and made sure that I got the right number. He bumped on the 23rd clothesline, but I'm like, is that some kind of a deal they worked out in the back? Like, look, I don't want to take a clothesline bump from a guy as small as you. It's like, well, what if I hit you with 23 of them? It's like, all right, but I'm beating you with
nah, not 22, 23. Okay.
Oh yeah, 20.
That'll get me. 20.
It's like haggling, right? Like,
and is that just the politics of who's on the rise and wants to be more over, and who's the fucking boys of the main agents, and you don't want to do that shit back and forth? That could be a big part of why Walter's not here too.
I don't know, but I've heard Walter say he doesn't want to be in America, but that's beside the point. The main point of what we're talking about here with Ciampa is, like, I don't know why you would ever ask somebody else to look like a fool in a match with you. You know what I mean? Like, even if I had a spot in my mind, I wanted to clothesline a guy 23 times or have a tag team sit in opposite corners while I ran back and forth and clothesline them, I would never ask somebody to do that. Like, I just don't, like, my mind doesn't operate on that level. I'm looking at, like, I'm not going to make you look like a clown. I want everybody to look as good as they can. So even if they came up with that spot, it's like, hey, how about we sit in the buckle and you run back and forth and clothesline us? Be like, no, let's make you look better than that. Right, but not even that.
Well, that ankle lock into the tandem roll through pins, that I was just like, this match, we just went rotten fully, and I didn't expect that from those guys of that level of worker. And that fucking really crushes me a little bit when I see that stuff, man. They should be way, way better than that.
Don't disagree with any of you gentlemen. You know, I have a cake tasting to go to.
Let's get it. Come on, main event.
Anyway, so a cake tasting. Yes, I'm going to be eating cake all day today.
So sympathy. No sympathy. Well, let's pull extra time, Ben.
So
I ain't getting no cake today.
Yeah, well, Tony Cakes.
Hashtag Tony Cakes. Shout out to BG.
Yeah, BG.
Try some of that.
We have Aaliyah. No, not the R&B singer. What happened?
That's what I was waiting for you to bring up, Aaliyah. Let's talk about Aaliyah for a second. You want to talk about people who have been in developmental for a long time? Aaliyah's NXT run is now longer than Austin's WWF run on top. Actually, from the time he got there, from 96 to 03 when he left, Aaliyah is now longer tenured than Stone Cold Steve Austin. Continue, Big Ray.
Well, she looks fantastic, by the way. That's
Yeah,
a
all right.
beautiful woman. But anyway, we have Aaliyah. She's down with Robert Stones and Jesse Kamea, and she faces the extremely shitty Saray. Saray wins the match. She yells and screams and sounds like a fucking pterodactyl the entire match. She is not over with me, gentlemen. I know Ben has kind of, I think you've agreed with me over the last couple of weeks that she is not good.
She just, I mean, fundamentally, they put her over as the next big thing. She's out of positions for pins. Things are stiff and not protected, and that's what it was last week. And this week was kind of whatever. The other girl there, Leah, I like the green gear, but she was way nervous and way stiff when she gave her that first Beal hair whip. That was a shoot hair. You see her look down at her hands. She had fucking Saray's hair in her hand. And I looked at Saray going, what the fuck did this bitch just do to my head? And then she grabs her and does it again. That's just being on TV, new and scared and wanting to do it. And you are way too tense and things get real shooty real fucking quick, bro. And those hair whips definitely were the real deal.
All right, gentlemen, you know what it's time for? It is Hit Row. This is Ben. You love this team. They are thuggish and ruggish. Oh yeah.
No, this wasn't like a super high performance from them because I wanted them to rap. I think they should have fucking dope raps, like a little bit of bars. Like that dude on AEW is getting over with the diss raps. You know what I mean? Back and forth. And
Max Caster.
Yeah, and this is your chance to dig on the business, dig on them in a covert way. And you're missing that opportunity. The dude who looks like Suge Knight has got money written on him. I'd make him more people and make him like Suge.
I'm sorry,
he's got treasures written on him.
Well, that's a problem, right? We're presenting him as a baby, same as Miz. We're presenting Miz as a baby on one show, and then fucking this and the other. Go ahead.
Can I just throw in that I love that one spot in the match where I forgot who grabbed his arm and he just threw him all the way across the ring with the one arm. That was, for me, that was like, wow, that was pretty cool.
It puts over his size, and he just had conversations with Undertaker and Kane talking about how to protect his size. So hopefully he gets it, and there's money on that guy. Swerve, there's plenty of money on him. The girl, I think too. I think everybody. The other guy who needs to do, we need a Flavor Flav hype man spot for him every time to kind of get the energy up. But regardless of match or whatever, I saw it twice. And I don't know if they're ribbing Stevie and I, but they did this.
The 3 down.
3 up, 3 down. Now, gangster-wise, that can mean a couple different things. They're not doing like hit biz or whatever, some shit like that and throwing up the gang signs or whatever. But 3 up, 3 down, it means 33. So now you're talking Illuminati Mason and you're talking as above, so below. So there's some interesting hand shit going on there that goes right over the fucking normal watcher's eyes, man.
So let me ask you, Vet, are these guys as cringy to me as they are to you?
Well, you think they're cringy to me?
I'm asking you.
Ray doesn't like them. I like them.
I don't like them. I think they're look. They come across to me as wannabe thugs because again, I can't get the fact that the big guy
that's every rapper there is right now is wannabe fucking
wannabe thugs, right?
I feel you on that, but I've already my introduction to the big guy, top dollar, holla holla, whatever the fuck he says. Mm-hmm. That guy, the hell is that? Anyway, somebody's coming in.
That's a portable telephone.
Oh, I thought it was for me.
What's up, anyway, buddy? You're on live with the Vet and Big Ray on the Next Level podcast. What's good, Beast?
Oh shit! I'm just hanging, man. Getting ready to drive to one of my patients. I was gonna tell you I just sent you the ODB pod. Sorry for the delay on that.
It's all good, man.
Was I supposed to send it to someone else though? ODB was like, "Got to send it to Jeff." I don't know who Jeff is.
Jeff Lane, but I'll CC on the email so you can have it, and I'll upload it to Russo.
Nobody knows who Jeff is.
I'll upload it to Russo's YouTube.
It's Jordan Grace, right?
Content right here,
This is top notch. A behind the scenes look, man. Well, you make them squat big time, and Rip wants to watch Serena's match tomorrow in the watch along, so that'll be pretty cool. You can just bring it up on watchwrestling.la, and you guys can watch it there. And also,
it'll be next week where we record, but yes, I will watch that.
Okay. And also, we want to get Rip to do all the Botchamania sings, so we can send him to Botchamania
and this is actually funny content. So I told him about Botchamania, and I tried to explain it to him. I go, well, here's one, and I pulled up the latest one.
Ray's trying to eat cake.
I don't want to fucking do that. I don't want to do what he does. So he goes,
wait your turn, Ray.
So pulled up one. Edman Fondo hitting the guy on the stop sign saying, "Welcome to Botchamania," and I didn't like that.
I'll get it. I'll sell it to him to tell him that we're going to sell more shirts and podcasts from it. So, y'all, we're going to get back to it and wrap it up because Ray's got to eat cake. So I'll holler at you in a bit, bud.
All right, you got it.
Later, dude.
This is unbelievable.
Beast, co-host of the Rip Rogers FR podcast, Monday Locker Room, and now coming soon to Russo's brand on Realm Network ODB show as well, man. So I'm not sure what the name is yet, but Beast working hard.
Man, Beast, another one of those guys, like never had a conversation with him, but he came and jumped on with me and Colin, did a Next Level Wrestling review. We just jumped right back into it, just like old times, talking tag team wrestling psychology. That's what we do.
Why don't you call the show Big Gimmicks? I'm serious. She wouldn't be down with that? Or Dirty Gimmicks?
No, I think it's going to be something based around her barbecue type thing. So we'll see.
All right, cool. Dirty Gimmicks.
Well, we are looking for. Yeah, I call her Dirty Gimmicks. We are looking for names for the show, so send them to us, Hamin Media Group. Your show name ideas for ODB's show.
Well, I like Dirty Gimmicks. Anyway, so again, Hit Row. My question to you, Vet.
Oh yeah,
was
yeah. It was. Is it cringy? Well, it's cringy in the sense of that everything that the WWE does is fake and disingenuous. Mm-hmm. But I think that these guys can find some. That they're doing okay with it so far. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of like, you're just gonna have to accept that some of it is gonna be a little. I can't. Trust me. I know what you're feeling when you're watching it. I get that. It's not a bad idea for a gimmick though, and I like the guys. Ashanti the Adonis is really good. I don't know how much you guys have seen of him. Probably not much, but this kid can work. I don't know who taught him how to work, but there's lots of guys down there that can't do what he does. So. Interested to see him, and like I said, we got the AJ guy looking for hidden WWE treasures.
Well,
so that's always exciting.
I'm gonna jump
Swerve gets kind of jobbed out a lot, but now he's got his group with this Caden Carter chick. Oh, sorry, Ray, go ahead.
Well, this is the point I'm trying to make to you, and I said this last week. I cannot get the fact that Top Dollar Holla Holla, whatever his name is, my introduction to him was the A&E Buried Treasures show, whatever the fuck it's called, Unfound Treasures. So I'm seeing him hanging out with my uncle Bill Apter in Apter's Alley, marking out.
All right, we get it. Bill Apter. It's fine.
I don't know him. I am related. He's my adopted Jewish uncle.
I get it. Whatever it is. We all get it. You don't. If that's. We love you no matter who you're related to. You don't have to keep trying to impress us, right?
Whatever.
So, anyways.
All right, I was trying to cue that up and I fucking had the volume down. I am colonizing this show today. But no, but on all seriousness, man, I just can't. I can't get that vision of him marking out to a t-shirt or a belt or something like that out of my mind. So now 1 minute I have him on A&E, look, oh gosh, look at this fucking cool toy. I'm with the Undertaker. Not that he talks that way. And then now all of a sudden, I'm Top Dollar. Who hotter than Top Dollar? Holla holla. All this dumb shit, dude. I'm like, nobody talks like that in the hood. For real, dude.
He's Top Dollar, but he's trying to lowball all these collectors on boots and other stuff like robes.
Nobody in the hood talks that way. For real. Nobody talks that way. Like, just be real. Like, don't go with something like this. I think they shouldn't go over the top. Just be yourselves. And if yourselves are not hood, then I don't know, man. It just comes across as ingenuous to me. I love Top Dollar's the big guy. Top Dollar. I love that guy. That's a big dude, man. He's gonna be a single star. Because he also, and tell me if I'm wrong, that guy has charisma on the microphone. Do you not agree?
I suppose. You're talking about the WWE Treasures guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all right.
He's all right. Where the hell did Ben go?
But you just don't like. I don't know. He took off. But so you're just saying you don't like that he's trying to be more hood than he really is, right?
They all
That's
are.
what you're saying.
They all
yeah,
are.
They all are.
They all are. And that girl, Ben loves her, says there's money on her. Cool. But there's something cheesy about the way she delivers her lines. She's going to have to make it up for me in the ring if she can even work. We don't even know if this girl can work. Do we know?
We don't. I don't.
She looks like a poor man's version of that young lady from AEW. That's
Jade Cargill. But we're already talking. But we already have a girl named Kaden Carter that looks just like her. She's in the tag team with Casey Catanzaro. I called him the K Sounds.
Exactly. Yo, Ben, Vet was burying you. What?
Well, somebody's got to.
He can go back and watch the archive and see if that's true.
But anyway, I was just So it is what it is.
I probably deserved it.
Did you like this segment, guys, at all?
I like the match. I like the match. I like how they steamrolled these guys.
Should.
Tony Nese, Arya Daivari, those are decent guys too, and they just got run over here. But I like that. This is how you should, because it was more about what they were saying afterwards. So get the match over with. But even in their little short match, they got in some cool stuff like the spot you were talking about, where he like grabs the guy by the hand and like lifts him, out and doing all that stuff. So it was kind of cool. They look good in there. And I said, like I said, keep your eyes on the Adonis kid.
Yeah. But he's a hothead of the group, right? Is that what he's supposed to be? Because he kept losing it.
Yeah. Which I didn't know that until this match, but they were able to get that over in just a couple short minutes. It was only like what 2.5, 3 minutes, if that.
I think so.
So if we can get more, of that format, then we can showcase more talent per week and keep the show moving at a faster pace.
Finn, anything before we jump into the main event of the evening?
Right match in the right spot. That's right. Quick over, and the business is getting character over, and the crew just got formed. I thought they did a good job in the short amount of time. It shows that you don't need 12 to 15 minutes. If you have the character, you have the speed, that's where we needed. And we needed a palate cleanser right before we go into a big main event. So that was good too.
Oh, this wasn't a big main event. This main event was colossal. And it was in a steel cage.
You know what popped me the most is watching the cage come down after I had to wait 20 minutes for our cage match to get set up. I was like, they hit a button, it comes down like garage doors. Like, motherfucker, that's cool, man. Like, I wish we had that son of a bitch.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because when I saw the cage come down, that is the first thing that popped into my mind. How much you guys were discussing how sometimes a cage match should open the show because you don't want people sitting on their hands waiting for that.
It's the worst, bro, to wait for a main event and do a double intermission. Like a third of your audience leaves because it's just too much, too long, and they've seen everything. So if you're running an indie show and you're going to have a cage match, even if it's a big payoff, start with the cage up and then take it down and have a big name match, your whoever you book at your high price for your autograph signing in the main event, so the people stay for that. That's just a simple indie rule. I've been on half a dozen shows where no one's gotten it right yet except for 2CW. That's it, bro, to be honest with you.
All right, well, I'm going to ask you, Vet. This is the main event of the evening. I brought you in here not only to finally have a chance to speak to Ben, which I had no idea you never actually spoken to Ben.
Never.
But I brought you in to break this down, man. I mean, you're watching Impact Wrestling, some of the best wrestling on TV today. Anyway, sorry, I snorted there. But no, you get a main event. You get Bronson Reed, your new NXT North American champion. I got to tell you really quickly before I go to you guys. What's this kid's name? Austin Theory? No.
Yeah,
Austin Theory. I loved his involvement in the match.
He was in the right spot at the right time.
A lot. Again, that kid is one of my favorites on that entire roster. This is what I see. But I'm going to leave it to you guys. You guys can break this match down, and then we'll go home from there. Go ahead, Vet.
Okay, I don't have too much to say. The last takeover match these guys had I guess it was for the North American title, I blistered the fuck out of both of them for the shitty match that they put on. I cut a promo on Gargano saying he doesn't know anything about good wrestling and he's not a good worker, and I don't care what all the marks say. And I said Bronson Reed should be ashamed of himself for allowing this tiny man to muscle him around. They had listed Johnny Gargano at 199. I guess he has a shoot adamantium skeleton if he weighs 199.
Negative.
And maybe that adamantium skeleton is how it explains how he can kick out of everybody else's shit. But nonetheless, like there wasn't as much egregious of Johnny not working his size in this match until like the very end. He still had to get that poison Rana in, which is fucking phony. But you know, at the end of the day, like I really don't care about either of these guys. I don't care about the North American title, and I don't care about Bronson Reed winning the North American title. It's just kind of like a hot potato title. That's really all I have to say about it.
Well, let me ask you.
Into it.
Well, I don't know if you know this, Vet, but Ben is, from what I understand, is the only person that actually hit a poison Rana in a regular street fight. Was it a barroom brawl, like a legit one, a shoot one?
Yeah, they never saw it coming. You know. Yeah.
What do you think what Vet had to say?
That guy was the worst call of this match, dude. Like, why would Big Man even do that just to show? Wow, he got the big guy to do the like. That's these overbooked things that kill your story. It kills all believability of what you're trying to build. You know, I worked plenty of shows with Gargano and Ciampa and the Johnny wrestling stuff and fighting underneath, but there's no way he should be even getting nearly as much in this cage match and being able to climb as many times as he did to get caught, dude. The Bronson and going for pins and cage matches always kind of kills me too, because that's like the most anticlimactic thing. I don't know, out the door could be the most anticlimactic if you leave the guy completely bloody and laying. But we didn't get any color. It's a cage match, bro. You get color in a fucking cage. We did it this weekend. Ding, ding. That's it. And it's also to keep people away from the outside. Meanwhile, Austin Theory, and I like this spot. I wish I had seen it because I would have stole it. Fucking when he does the Mosh and Thrasher gimmick and they hits from the outside, that was pretty fucking cool.
That was cool.
He was in the right spot for the hit him with the cage shit. There's just a lot of things that you know are coming, but that dude was right where he needed to be, and to take the bump off it and get hit into it from the door. Those were good little things to have him shine. But this is Shawn Michaels way overbooking shit in the finish. The finish was when this is what I mean by where they think like they're taking him up the ladder and then they really take him back down. The highest point in the match, what to me, and see if you guys agree with this, is when they're doing tug of war with Gargano and fucking he pulls him back in and old boy goes flying off after having all the instigation shit. And then Big Man gives him the fucking Yoko drop, and then we go another 5 minutes. That was the finish right there.
That was the finish. I agree.
The Yoko drop sitting on him, looking at his boy who gets knocked the fuck off, and I'm the fucking man now. Now, the worst part of this, and I'm happy for the guy, 14 years, I get it, whatever. This guy is fucking babyface Vader. You don't have him talking about his wife, who's not under contract, who we have no care about whatsoever. You don't fucking have him crying at the end and doing this type of shit, dude. This is his, yeah, I'm fucking victorious, big moment. I'm here now. Instead, we took all that, and now he looks like a sobbing pussy. The mat, you didn't have him as high as you could have because you had to get all this extra shit in that didn't mean anything, only to hit the splash, which isn't as impressive as when you're sitting on the ground and seeing the Yoko thing, bro. And no one's done that, and he's a guy who could do it. When they did the pre-tape and they showed 14 years ago when Vet and I were in fucking OVW and he's on having his first matches, he was in good shape. I'm going, bro, if I saw that fucking dude and now I got this guy as a butterball, like, and not that that's not marketable how he looks now, but that's not what you want to show your audience, because the audience goes, wow, he turned into a fat, lazy fucker. You know, he knows how to wrestle, but he's not taking it seriously. I like that he looks different, kind of like a more athletic AC and that type of better in shape AC baby. But the crying stuff, the wife stuff, that is all what they're going home with, the stage picture, not the fucking war that these guys supposedly just had. And I think those types of choices in wrestling are the worst ones to make right now in 2021.
What is it with
his wife ain't going to sell one more ticket or T-shirt for nobody, bro.
in addition to that, there's like all that stuff, like as much as we don't want to see it, it's also telegraphing that you're probably putting the guy over. Because we don't hear about his wife for a second, and then all of a sudden she shows up, and then they start talking about how long he's been wrestling. I was like, well, I guess he's winning.
Yeah.
You know, like why would they bring it up now? You know, so
unless his wife was going to get involved in the match.
I mean, you know.
The whole story should be big man's a big dude in slow climb. So old boy on the outside keeps him down, and like he did to some degree. But Gargano should have been getting killed with things left and right. Big power slam, fucking boom, hit him with a second rope splash. Now Gargano's down selling his guts. Slow fucking climb. Old boy tries to distract just so Gargano can get up in time to do some jump up and pull him back down where they're both down in a double down. That should have been the entire back and forth of this match. Instead, they're working at 50-50 with overbooked fucking spot finishes. Not the right way to do things.
Well, just be glad you didn't watch their takeover match, Ben, because that made this look like Owen and Brett from SummerSlam '94 in comparison. This was a much more refreshing.
They worked hard, but not the right story. And this is them. I don't know how we got HBK and Triple H and Ciampa and fucking Gargano are like their pet projects, and we're getting these wrong overbooked finishes, bro. Like, it's weird to me. Like, you want to talk about loss of respect for some guys? It's like, how do you have the best agents in the world? Regal, fucking those two, Dave Taylor, everybody who's there, and this type of shit is making it to TV. I just don't understand it.
Well, I always ask. Go ahead, Vet.
Oh, I was just gonna real quick say, watching the Shawn Michaels biography, which shows him like going in the tape room and breaking down tape with all the and like Adam Cole saying like he'll break down like every little minute detail of things that we did wrong in our matches. I'm like, well, he probably should tell you that stuff before you have the match. You should probably lay out your match in front of him so he can do it before you go have it, and not but I mean, you know how it is, Ben. It's not just wrestling; it's in life. Like, you can tell a young person, till you're blue in the face, how things are and how they're going to be, and they won't believe you until they've done it and seen it for themselves after they fucked up.
There's only one way to learn, Vet, and that's the hard way. Really, at the end of the day, because Adam Cole, you're spot on. Adam Cole will bring me in. He's done it 4 or 5 times with great fundamental wrestling, telling a whole great heat story, and then it goes to this weird ROH New Japan, get your shit in. Everything we just worked heat on doesn't mean nothing. We're gonna ratchet it up, and then the match just goes to complete fuckery, and it takes a fucking Pat McAfee with 8 weeks of Rip Rogers training to come in and get the best match he's had in NXT out of him, and then people resent him for it.
And even that was too much, but it was still good. Yep. And just on the New Japan note, that's what the American white guys think New Japan is. New Japan isn't like that.
No.
But anyway, go ahead, Big Ray.
Oh, me? Oh,
yeah, you. What'd you think? What'd you think, Big Ray? Would you like this cage match, Big Ray? Are you happy for Bronson and his 14 fucking year climb to the top, or this 14 fucking minute climb to the top? I mean, what did you enjoy this? Are you proud of your new North American champion and his wife?
Am I proud of the new North American champion? No. I honestly, man, to be honest with you, as we go home, because I need to eat cake, was I entertained by the match? I guess. Did I like the booking of the match? Looking at it with a critical eye? No. Do I see money in Bronson Reed moving forward? This is the way I judge things on NXT. Well, he's a very heavy set guy, big guy. But when he stands in front of a Braun Strowman, you're going to see what 5'11" looks like in the ring. That's my problem with him. And he's 5'11", so he's booked at 5'11", he's probably 5'9". So with that being said, I don't know if we're going to have a ton of money on this guy moving forward. Maybe NXT may be his ceiling.
For him on the road big time is him and Otis in a tag team in the future. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely possible. But anyway, listen, gentlemen, with all that being said, I have heat just coming from this door right now. You guys have no idea, because I am going to taste multiple wedding cakes. But before I go, I have to thank you, Vet, sincerely from the bottom of my heart. I invited you to come on, and you graciously graced us with your presence here. I appreciate you, dude. I listen to you and Colin every single freaking week. You guys have fantastic chemistry, and you feed off of each other so well. It's so entertaining. I love it. I love it. I love it. I don't watch Impact Wrestling as much anymore, but I get everything I need from you guys. So
good man.
Thank you, Vet. Seriously, thank you so much for coming on, man. I appreciate you. And when I go away for my honeymoon, we may need a co-host. So I don't know, Ben, if you're cool with having the Vet kind of do some NXT if he has time for us. But Vet, man, where can they follow you? Where can they find you? And if you have anything really nice to say about me, that's cool, and anything to bury Colin, more than accepted.
I'll pass on the Barry and Colin here. I get to do that every Friday, so don't worry about that. And on that every Friday, you can see me at the Impact Attack, which I may have just renamed the Moose Attack or the Moose because we can't get enough Moose over there. Like I said in the chat a couple weeks ago, if Moose ever did come to NXT when his contract's up, then you're going to have a 3-man show here, because I'll be damned if I'm going to watch Impact with no Moose on it. So that's where you can find me, usually Friday nights live, but you can always catch the VOD right on the HMG channel. And for social medias, it's at Opinion Haver, all one word, everywhere. You might see me in the chat here. This was a pleasure. It was a home run, just like I said. Go Yankees, right?
Hell yeah, go Yankees, and let's go Knicks.
Yeah, I don't care about the Knicks, but Yankees. Let's definitely go Yankees. And that's pretty much it for me. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, man, it's the Vet, the Army of Two. We're gonna have to get Debo maybe down the road too, man. Always great to wax nostalgic and and be back, with my OVW brothers, dude, because I know that mindset is the exact same thing, because we were in the trenches together, learning it the same way, the hard way, and fighting for our dreams. So are we on year 14? I think I'm on year 15, so maybe I'll be crying in the ring with my wife soon too. Who knows? Y'all, man, Broster's Coffee, get that official Russo Bro coffee. You guys are really loving it. It's top quality, and the best I've had for that price point if you're a coffee connoisseur. Thebrosters.com, ZordosOliveOil.com, Patreon.com/Hamin Media Group is doing great things, so we appreciate you guys, and Impact Attacks up there for free as well, along with our locker room shows. And we'll be back in the morning with the Ultra Kayfabe Declassified version of your Thursday taping of the Friday Locker Room, and I'll be back with another OVW brother, the Chris Silvio, hopefully Genocide and MSG, to talk AEW Dynamite tomorrow. It's going to be just another big week of production here at Hamin Media Group, and we're having a great time being able to talk about phony wrestling with the people that I care about the most, man. It's a good time, and I appreciate all your guys' hard work, and everybody listening, twitch.tv/Hamin Media or Ben Hamin channel. Thanks for finding us as we get ready to move over to Realm Network in the next couple of weeks. We'll have more info on that as it comes out. Master Shoot Theater dropping the day, Raw and SmackDown review at russosbrand.com. The beautiful podcast, Stevie Ray TV, Idol in April on the A Show, Colin's own project there. And man, Rip Rogers podcast with the Man Beast. We're doing it real big here at Hamin Media Group. Big Ray, go eat cake.
Yo, check this out, guys. I used to end every single podcast at onewrestling.com, and also when we first started, by saying this, and this is true. I would do this for a living, but if I couldn't, I'd do it anyway. Why? Because I love talking wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you here next week for your next level podcast. Big shout out to Colin Wysong. I love you, buddy. I love you. I love you. I love you. Vet, thank you so much. Ben Hamin, I love you. So much love going on. And hopefully I don't get diarrhea from eating all the delicious cakes. Ben Hamin, give him a yalla.
Yalla. Now that's haram.
We out.